What's up, PC fam? I know we are a little late, but we're not gonna have y'all wait any longer. Let's just get straight into some good hoop talks as always. Chill back in the backstage. You were talking about a conversation you had earlier. You care to bring that to the panel?
Yeah, I was talking earlier today with RJ, Richard Jefferson. We was having a conversation, and you know, guys, when we talk about the positions, right? The point guard, the two guard, the small forward, the power forward, and the 5 spot. Of those 5 positions, is there a bigger gap between 1 and 2 than it is? But let me rephrase the question. The gap between 1 and 2 in all those 5 positions, how big is it? Like with the point guard, how big is the gap between? If you think it's Curry and Magic, how big is the gap?
Oh, all time.
Y'all gonna say this? Y'all gonna say the small forward has the biggest gap, right?
Yeah, small forward or shooting guard. Yeah.
So it's interesting you mentioned that because I had a conversation this morning, and how big is the gap between Duncan and Giannis?
Giannis. What's Giannis doing?
What, at their best or over their whole careers?
We're talking about the power forward spot. So if Giannis ended today and Duncan's already over, how big is the gap? Not just Giannis and let me rephrase the question. Not just Giannis and Duncan. How big is the gap between Duncan and everybody else at the 4 spot? Because what I got was the 4 spot. That's the biggest gap between the point guard, the 2 guard, the small forward, and the 5 spot. The 4 spot is the biggest gap. That's what I'm
not even convinced Duncan is number 1. So
that's what I'm saying. The four spot is still up for debate.
Yeah. Is it really?
Yes.
Are we talking about level of play, or are we doing that?
I'm not saying Duncan isn't the best, but what I am saying is I refuse to believe that's the biggest gap when in my mind I'm not convinced Duncan is the best. He might be, but that gap is marginal to me. That's the magic step.
Are we doing level of play, or are we just saying accolades? Like what do you mean biggest gap? Can I get a frame of reference, please?
Okay, so Swipe, when we talk about being the best all time, right? And we talk about at the point guard spot, we rate you on what you've done, what you accumulated, your game, your accolades, all the stuff that you accomplished in addition to your game. So when me specifically, when I do that, I think Duncan is the best 4-man ever. Right? I think Duncan is the best 4-man.
Did he play the best at the 4 better than anyone else?
Yes, I think he did.
Well, I can make an argument that Kevin Garnett and
100%
Dirk were just as good as stretches in 2000. So
100%.
Mars, close your ears, but Karl Malone exists.
But that's what I'm saying. Malone,
he does
100%,
exist. He does.
100%. He did.
Unfortunately, he does exist.
You can definitely make an argument. I feel like I can make a better. I think I can make a better argument for Duncan than for Malone. I think I can make it, and I think the separation with Malone and Duncan, I think, is the winning, and on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, we're talking about, but I'm saying was he that much better than the next best player that has played power forward?
And if that's and the question that needs to be answered, which I feel like I'm going to answer. What makes you that much better? Is it just you at basketball? Well, what I did as a basketball player, right? Because when we're talking about these guys, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, all of them were in the same position at one point. They were the man on their teams. And as the man on your team, you weren't hindered in any way. You could be the leading scorer. You get 100%, Mars. As the man on your
team. Garnett was not hindered?
Yes. He was hindered.
Do we need to talk about what we just watched yesterday?
We saw it, but here's the difference though, Mars. At some point, like I said, as the man on your team, you weren't hindered. You were put in a.
When was he not in Minnesota?
You were put in a position to win. Yes, you
were.
When
in Minnesota did that happen?
Let's do this. In what year, in Kevin Garnett's prime, when he was in Minnesota, was he in a position to win a championship?
In 2003, 2004. I think he was.
The year in which his second best player got hurt in the playoffs.
That's correct. But he was in a position to win. Yes, he was.
Was he still in a position when Sam Cassell went down? Was he still in that position?
Yes, he was still in that position to win.
They could have won. So without Sam Cassell, they could have won.
why are we talking about this like when
they were going to beat the Lakers? That's because they were in the conference finals. They had to beat the Lakers. They were going to beat the Lakers.
Well, they were there. In theory, they were there, and they were in a position to win.
No, in theory, if you're in the playoffs, you have a chance to win.
Yes, you do. But here's
it's Kobe and Shaq versus him and who?
Yes,
and Wally and them without saying
Wally and Latrell Sprewell and Wally Zerbiak, who was an all-star at one point, but
they weren't better than the Lakers, though.
No, they weren't better than the Lakers as a collection. I'm not arguing that, but they were in a position to win at that because they got there. They were in a position to win. But I could use the same argument.
Would Duncan have beat that team? With that same
they lost to that team. The Spurs lost to that team that year. They lost.
I know, but I'm saying
they beat them the year before, though. Here's the difference, though, Mars. They beat them the year before. Let's not act like they didn't beat them the year before. This is what I'm talking about when I say that you're in a position to win. And Swiper, we don't know who Manu Ginobili is. We don't know who Steven Jackson is. We don't know who Tony Parker is at this point. We don't know who these guys are. And this is who Duncan is winning with.
The Wolves got two. They got 2 games on them, though. So it's not like they just walk through the Wolves.
Yeah, you normally give credit. The Timberwolves winning 2 games is a testament to them being able to win 2 games.
Yes,
that team is not winning a championship.
Right. But
even if they beat the Lakers, are they beating the Pistons? No,
they're not beating the Pistons. No.
Kevin Garnett had as close to 0. He had as close to a 0% chance of winning a title in Minnesota as you could possibly have. That team was never going to win a championship. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out.
But Mars
very clearly was hindered.
Duncan lost the year. Are we talking? Because we're talking about the year before is 2002, correct? The same year we're talking about.
0203.
Oh, so I'm saying, but like that just doesn't, to me, that doesn't make any sense because the Wolves, that Kevin Garnett losing to the Lakers is not an indictment on Kevin Garnett. It's historically always been an indictment on the Wolves. The Wolves at no point in time put an elite team around him to go through the Western Conference. Could damn them, the Lakers. The Kings were really good for that stretch. The Spurs were really good for that stretch. I mean, even Dallas was like good. They weren't like good, but they were still a good basketball team. The Wolves never.
Steve Nash and Dirk.
Yes, what I'm saying. They were, but don't get me wrong. They're not. I'm not saying they're championship contenders at that point, but I'm saying that like these teams were good. But those Wolves teams weren't situated to take down like that Lakers team, and especially after the injuries.
I hear you. I hear you, and I believe the same thing that you believe in what Mars already said, and I'm sure Chill agrees with. Kevin Garnett was in a terrible situation in Minnesota, but that particular season, 03-04, I do believe that was a team capable of winning it. I'm obviously getting to the Pistons. That would have been something where KG had to really go above and beyond. We can agree that KG would have had to be out of his body for them to beat the Pistons. But without Sam Cassell,
24, 14, and 5 in that series, though, Ox, like he was the best defender in the series too versus the Lakers.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is without Sam Cassell, still getting 2 games off the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think that team showed that they could have potentially beat the Lakers. Now they didn't beat them without Cassell, but we never know what happens with them. So to Chill's point, I think that 03-04 team was obviously the best chance he had, obviously, but I think that's as good as you could. Yeah, they were in position.
That's as good a chance as you can get. And to your point, Swiper, when you talk about like Dirk Nowitzki in Dallas, they weren't well. I mean, in 03, they did lose in the Western Conference Championship the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying they were. I just didn't want to gas them. They weren't 06.
Well, yeah, one could argue the reason the Spurs, the reason the Spurs might have won that series is because Dirk went down.
Yeah, Dirk got hurt.
Things have to go your way if you're the Spurs. That's a Spurs team that wasn't that great, and Duncan gets credit for what he did in that postseason run. I think that's one of the best postseason runs that get slept on historically. Dallas were probably maybe a better team, and then Dirk goes down, and then the Spurs are able to win. Give them credit for that.
That's the problem.
But like, if the Timberwolves go up against the Lakers and Shaq gets hurt, maybe they could win that series. Like, maybe, I don't know.
They probably do win that series.
Like, it's just things happen. Like, a lot of what happens in players' careers is down to luck. Like, I don't want to say it's all luck, but we can, like, luck is a component in sports. And I think people discount that because they don't want to act like everything isn't in players' control. It's not. KG had a very unlucky first 9 years of his career. And also, KG, there was also times, especially younger KG, where he wasn't playing very well in the playoffs. And we can talk about KG's failures, his shortcomings, and what his flaws were as a player. We can acknowledge that. But we should also be able to acknowledge that he was in my opinion, the worst situation a superstar has ever been in. I think it's easily, especially when the Joe Smith fiasco, like everything was terrible. And you look at the 04 playoffs, and it's a small sample size because he played a lot of minutes. He played like 40 plus minutes a game. When Kevin Garnett was on the court in the 04 playoffs, the Timberwolves had a plus 2.6 net rating. When he was off the court, they had a negative 24.
So this is Russell Westbrook and
like
Oklahoma
you're not
City.
winning with that team. And if you want to get a larger sample, just get the 03, 04 seasons, not just the playoffs, the 03 and 04 seasons, the 2 years which I think Kevin Garnett was at his best. This is what it was looking like for him in Minnesota. When he was on the court, those 2 seasons, a plus 7.7 net rating. Yep. When he was off the court, a negative 14. Like we talk about the Jokic on-off splits. Kevin Garnett has some of the most egregious on-off splits ever. Like the team can't do anything. We watched it yesterday, and that was 1998 KG. When Kevin Garnett's not on the floor, the Timberwolves can't do anything. Like I'm meant to be like, well, KG's not good enough when I'm watching what his team is looking like when he's off the floor. Like the team is incompetent. Well, it's a bad situation.
Let's rewind the clock, Mars, because I think that you made a fair point about him being in a really advantageous situation when he was in Minnesota, where they really did a bad job in building around him. 100%. I could say the same thing about Barkley. Philly wasn't serious. Philly was not serious after Doc retired, and after Andrew Toney got hurt, after Doc retired, and they lost Moses Malone. Philly was not serious. They were not serious on any level.
That's the best Barkley was in Philly. I think he was better in Philly than he was in Phoenix. But he doesn't get that respect because
he was getting wasted. And he was getting wasted. With that being said, there was a time. There was a time when Barkley at his best. There was a time, and they ended up losing in, I want to say in 91. They ended up losing to the Bulls in the East semifinals. The Bulls were better than them, clearly. But Barkley getting his team to the Eastern Conference semifinals did have a chance. Yeah, he did have a chance. He had a slim chance, but he did have a chance. They did get a game on the Bulls too, Mars. Just the same Bulls that I think that in the Eastern Conference, that was the only game that they lost in the East that year. They didn't lose any. They didn't lose any games. They swept the
Pistons in the conference finals.
They didn't lose to anybody else. They just lost that one game to Philly. They did get a game on them. What I'm saying is when we're talking about the winning being the separator, the winning, it just can't be you won. Okay, how did you win? Who did you go up against when you won? How did you play when you won? So Swiper and I just talked about the Dallas Mavericks. As good as Tim Duncan is, and as good as Tim Duncan played in the postseason, yes, I got lucky that Dirk Nowitzki got hurt. 100% that helps. But I still had to pull my weight.
Absolutely.
Right? I still 100% had to pull my weight. With Dirk Nowitzki getting hurt, that does help me. But we could still lose this series.
But if the situation's flipped, though, y'all, if Kevin Garnett ends up with the Spurs in 99 or 98 and then makes his run over the course of his career through the Spurs, would we – I can make a legitimate argument. We would just as easily be talking about Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan talks, given his role would have been on that team. I think defensively, I think Kevin Garnett is still a better defender than Tim Duncan. But I'm also extremely high. I think Kevin Garnett's one of my. I think Kevin Garnett's mobility over the course of like a 10-year period is just one of one. I just don't think there's players that ever existed like that. He was an elite rim protector. He was great in space. He was great as a pick and roll player, like off ball. Like he was just excellent. He was a general manager as well. Like he just was floor general. I mean, like he was just a defensive like playmaker, everything. Kevin Garnett and Bill Russell and Hakeem are my 3 favorite defenders ever. I think Duncan the issue is that everything
that you just said wasn't Duncan that too.
I don't
think he was the athlete. I'm not going to argue.
No, I think Duncan is still one of the best defenders ever. But I just don't. Sure. I don't think there's even in the last 25 years, I don't think there's a single player that embodies like mobile big defense like Kevin Garnett. Like I just don't. Even Bam is really good at it. Anthony Davis, Victor Wembanyama, they're really good at it. But nobody that I've seen is Kevin Garnett, which is why he gave people fits. Who'd you say?
Ben Wallace?
Nah, Ben was also elite rim protector, but Ben didn't have the same feet work that Kevin Garnett had. Sure. And I do think there's something to being a captain, like defensively, like being able to be a vocal leader on the defensive end. I think that matters. I think Draymond does that at a really high level as well. And I think that there are players that are able to, I think, operate as like the quarterback of a defense. And he's probably the best at it. I mean, Bill Russell, the best, but Kevin Garnett might be the second best at it, even over Hakeem. So I think that if Kevin Garnett would have been placed with the Spurs, I mean, I make an argument he was a better scorer than Tim Duncan. I don't really think there's much pushback there. I mean, depends on what year you want to talk about. Like, I think Kevin Garnett in the playoffs, when he needed to, I think his scoring was there. I think the jump shooting was elite. The finishing was elite. The driving was really good. Like, he was a really good off the bounce player, too chill. He had a lot of bag work on the post, like turning over either shoulder. I mean, he just was a giant. And like even that little baseline jumper that he used to get. Now, modern NBA, you wouldn't get that as much because nobody shoots those shots. But Ox, you remember when Kevin Garnett would be on the baseline, when he would be in the face up, he would just over the top of the head. Those were money. I think that he was just an elite player across the board. I do think if Kevin Garnett was in a different situation, or if he went to the Celtics earlier, or if he left Minnesota prior to 2004 or even 6, and he would have went somewhere else, I think that his story would be a lot different. He even has acknowledged that he didn't waste his career in Minnesota, but he definitely didn't get the best out of his career that he could have gotten had he left Minnesota.
He's on record saying, knowing today what I knew, if I would have known that back then, I wouldn't have been in Minnesota for as long as I've been in Minnesota.
So that's what I'm saying. I just think the conversation about KG would be different if he played in a different scenario. All the way around.
And that may be true because I think that we're all in agreement. Minnesota did a terrible job building that unit around him.
Let's get back to your original conversation though, because we did kind of go into a Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan conversation. I'm really
about the gap.
I'm really curious about just the gaps in the different positions and kind of what you and Richard like. What did y'all come to? What was the
this conversation? This conversation started with Giannis, where Giannis is today, and we're talking about the league MVP and could Giannis this season? Because I got them anywhere. I got Milwaukee anywhere between 6 and 7, and they could get to 5 at some point. I don't think that they get any higher than 5, but so between 5 and 7, I have them. And the question that was asked was, what would Giannis have to do to win the league MVP? And I was thinking, if I get another 33, if I get another 30 to 33 in 11 season and 6 assists, it would be hard to keep it away from them, even if they were a top 5 seed, considering what everybody else was doing. Joker, right? Considering what those other guys were doing. And what would that mean for Giannis moving forward? And that's how we got into the conversation of the gap between power forward spot in terms of Duncan and everybody else. And one of my caveats is, like, Duncan showed up right from the beginning. He's awesome. Like, Giannis has been in the league since what, 2013? Is that correct?
Yeah.
How long has Giannis been awesome in your estimation?
Since 2017.
So we're talking about 8 years. 7-8 years Giannis has been awesome. So there's a 4 years.
About 9, but yeah.
So there's a 4-year space where Giannis was figuring it out. Duncan, on the other hand, shows up right from the beginning. And I think that, and I know that this conversation goes back to Minnesota doing such a horrible job with Kevin Garnett in terms of building that unit around him. I mean, to not miss the playoffs in 20 years, that's a big deal, Mars. To make the playoffs every year.
I mean, the Spurs were a playoff level team every year.
But see, that's the thing.
Once again, you get credit for consistency, not being hurt. You get credit for that.
That matters.
But also, if the Spurs didn't make the playoffs in any of those years, I think we would be disappointed in that season. It goes both ways. Every season they were seen as a playoff team. And from 98, from 98 to 2016. Every year they were a playoff caliber team. Every single year.
And why is that though, Mars?
Part of that's because of Duncan.
That's what I was
thinking.
Part
of it is also because of the rest of the team. The rest of the team was a playoff caliber team.
And they had Popovich. And they had the best culture, in the NBA.
Now remember,
you give credit to Duncan. It's not all because of him. That's all I'm saying. Give Duncan his credit for his contributions.
Sure.
In my opinion, one of the 5 greatest defenders to ever play the sport. Yep. Bill Russell, Hakeem, KG, Duncan, and whoever you want for that 5th spot. That's 4 names, right? I said 4 names.
Yeah.
Whoever you want for that 5th spot. Those are the 4 of the 5 greatest defenders ever. Tim Duncan, I think, was a better scorer than KG, personally. I think KG was more versatile, but I do think Duncan was a better scorer. But that's what made him so special. He could play the 4 and the 5 seamlessly. I said it yesterday. He played more like a 5 than a typical 4. But that's because of how skilled he was and what he could do on the post. What he could do as a defensive anchor in the middle. All of those things, the rebounding. Sure. Duncan was amazing. But the reason the Spurs were making the playoffs every year wasn't just because of him. So once again, you give him the credit for his contributions to that. But there's also Manu Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, Greg Popovich, David Robinson. All of those players are part of it. Even the role, like the other role guys, like all the role guys, like all of them are a part of that.
Sure.
And the Spurs that's why they were viewed as one of like the best organizations in the league for so long. It's because of that. It's because of the continuity. It's because of the coaching. It's because of Tim Duncan. KG never even came close to having that. And I'm not saying if you swap him and Tim Duncan, KG has 5 rings. I don't care about that. That's the same as the T-Mac and Kobe thing. If you swap them with Shaq, I
Sure.
don't care. But what I do wholeheartedly believe is if KG was on the San Antonio Spurs, people would view his career differently. Now, does that mean they view him as good as Tim Duncan? Maybe, maybe not. But he would be viewed differently. That's all I'm saying. And I think the way we view people's careers is as much about how good they were individually, but also about how much things that were out of their control and what went right for them. If Draymond Green was on a different team than the Golden State Warriors, he would be viewed differently.
Yes, he would be. Yeah.
And that's not anything about his skill set. That's about he was in a situation that maximized him. So now he's viewed as better than all these other guys who maybe weren't in a situation that maximized them. Does that make him better than them? Does that make them worse than him? Maybe, maybe not. But that's the point. It's like people's careers are so much more just about things that are out of their control as it is about things that are in their control. And I don't like that we seem to act like everything is within these players' control, and it's not.
It's
like
not,
sports is a tough game. Like sometimes things that are out of your control go your way, and sometimes they don't go your way. And we decide how good a player is based on things that aren't always in their control. And I don't agree with that.
If I can counter that, Mars, and I know you got a point, Swiper. I do know you got a point, but everything that you said is valid. But I can counter that with when Tim Duncan showed up, the San Antonio Spurs were in disarray at that point. David Robinson was coming off a back injury. That year that they won the NBA championship, we had 6 guys who were basically journeymen. I mean, Avery Johnson, he was on his 6th team in 5. He was on his 6th team in 6 years. Jerome Kersey was a journeyman. I mean, Mario Elie was on his 7th team at that point. Like, we didn't know exactly what this team was when they got there. And Duncan,
Mario Elie was coming out of Houston,
as a role player, Mars. He was the 8th guy.
He was a role player in San Antonio.
No, he was a starting 2 guard on their team. We're not going to minimize who Mario Elie was.
He was a role player.
He wasn't
on that team.
When I say role player, let me rephrase it because I don't like to use the word role player and diminish guys. What I mean was his role in Houston was way different than what his role was in San Antonio. That's what I meant to say. I don't mean that. So when we get to those guys winning the NBA championship in 1998, I mean, Duncan was the best player on that team, and we're only in year 2, by the way. David Robinson had taken a backseat to him, not just because of his back injury, but also because David Robinson was a less than player. Duncan was better than him at that point. Even in year 2, he was better than him. And then when we move forward, when we bring in guys like Tony Parker, when we bring in guys like Manu Ginobili, don't forget, Mars, the international tag at that point was definitely that guys were soft, guys weren't good enough, and a guy like Manu Ginobili, who was a late 2nd round pick, we didn't really have much to say about him. We didn't know who he was. Same logic with Tony Parker, a Frenchman who was a late 1st round pick. We don't know who this guy is. So when these guys are making the playoffs, which, by the way, they're getting throttled by the Lakers, and it's not helping the case. They're getting dump trucked by the Lakers with Bruce Bowen, who's another journeyman, David Robinson with a bad back, who's still viable, still an all-star, right? Still good. But guys like Jaren Jackson, they're largely making the playoffs due to the fact that Duncan's on the crew. So when we move forward, the development of Tony Parker, the development of Manu Ginobili, that definitely helps, but it's largely due to the fact that Duncan is there. And when you talk about a guy like Greg Popovich, who in 1998, when they won the NBA championship, he's on the hot seat. There's a time when we're not sure if this guy is our guy moving forward. So we know Greg Popovich as we do today. We don't know Greg Popovich in 1997 when he gets the job, in 1998 when we have this lockout season. We don't know who this guy is. So for Tim Duncan to make the playoffs every year, right? For Tim Duncan to make the playoffs every year with guys who they were less than initially, but then they turned into better players like Tony Parker, like Manu Ginobili, like he had Michael Finley, but Michael Finley was on the other side, right? Michael Finley was on the other side of who he was. But it was largely due to Duncan is our man. That had a lot to do with it. And to do that for 20 years, we don't know who Kawhi Leonard is when Kawhi Leonard shows up. He's a defensive swingman. He's a defensive swingman who turned into an elite scorer. We don't know that he's going to be that. And Tony Parker is on the other side of who he is. I'm sorry, Ox. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, chill. Yeah, Duncan's definitely the foundation of this building, this home we're building. Yes, he's the concrete. He's the foundation. But just because we don't know that Manu's going to be Manu, just because we don't know Greg Popovich is a genius, just because we don't know Tony Parker and these dudes are going to do that, doesn't mean that they're not that. Like we might not have known how good they were going to be, but they were amazing, all of them. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't think that it's fair to say that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we may not have known they were going to be dope, but they definitely were. And I still feel like a lot of it is due to Tim Duncan. It's a lot easier to build a sturdy house on it when you have a sturdy foundation, and that's that's a fact. So you're right about that. But them dudes were great, and you know what I'm saying. And just because we didn't know they were gonna be, we can't take that away from because Tim Duncan can't do that. What he did, he can't do that alone. Coming through the thousands, not sure you can't do that alone.
I don't think he did it alone. I'm not going to argue that.
But what are we even arguing? Like, yeah, sure, he was a great player.
Chill's arguing that the gap between Duncan and KG.
I just don't think there's a way to prove that, though. I mean, if we're doing
larger than the gap between LeBron and Bird.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think there's an actual way to do that when we watch them play. I watched
not KD.
I watched.
Chill has Bird. I know.
I do.
So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, wait a minute, Swiper. Why isn't there a way to do that when we look at their careers? Don't get me wrong, not everybody's career is the same, right? Not everybody is put in a position to do things.
A gap by the time 2004. Well, I mean, Duncan was man. That's what I'm saying. Like, Duncan was a really good player, y'all. But by the time you get 2004, Garnett he was better than Duncan in 2004. Like, I think he's objectively a better basketball player than Tim Duncan. So if we're saying that, like,
really?
Yes, I think by the time you get to 2004, I think it's clear that Garnett
he played better.
Is a top.
That year KG
I think he was a top.
I think he played better. But to say he's objectively better,
me playing better than you. Okay, so I'm better than you in this instance.
You were better that season. Yeah, he was better.
And I think even by the time you keep going to 2007, 2008, again, like, Garnett started to change his role. And so I think Garnett became a more defensively inclined player. I think the scoring started decreasing because he started sharing the responsibility with other players once he got to Boston. I think that once you get in a stabilized situation with Paul Pierce and Rondo and him, I think he changes up who he is. But I think the issue is that Garnett, if he would have had competent teams from the 1999, let's say, to 2005, when he was kind of at his like apex, then I think we could be talking about him being a multiple-time champion. I think the conversation around him be different. I think multiple Western Conference Finals appearances is on the slate.
Swiper, out in round one, 7 straight years out in round one.
Yes, and look who he was playing with, and look at how he performed in majority of those first rounds. He was obviously the best player on his team in every single one of those appearances.
Yeah,
he had every. It's not like he lost to bums, mind you.
No,
like,
he didn't.
He was losing to teams that were contenders and or going to win the championship that year. So and the thing about it too is, like, you just need, when you're a big, especially in this era. Shaq got swept 3 times. Well, 4. He got swept 4 times prior to Kobe. Well, I'm saying all 4 prior to Kobe.
Mm-hmm. So he got swept against Indiana in his first trip to the playoffs.
Fine prior to, because he got swept with Kobe, but Kobe wasn't that guy.
99,
98, right?
In the West Finals. Yeah,
right.
98
so
in the West
Kobe
Finals.
was on the team
prior to Kobe, once with Kobe. Like,
right.
But Shaquille O'Neal was getting dog walk in the playoffs. I mean, really, no, that's no disrespect to Shaq, but he was getting like beat up in the playoffs, and he was a loser. He was being called a loser going into winning before he won those titles. I think that the whole conversation around Shaq started changing once him and Kobe started moving into a different situation with Derek Fisher and the rest of that roster, and Rick Fox and all these people started getting added to the roster. And then all of a sudden it looked like a legit team. So when you started loading up on Shaq got better, got more aggressive, became an even better scorer, became he became the best rebounder and the best scorer in the NBA, arguably, by the time he was 2000. And then you get Kobe. Kobe starts ascending into being an all-NBA level player. So, but they still have an elite roster around him. I think the issue is that you never got that same kind of thing with Kevin Garnett. And it's not like they were drafting well around him either. Like, he had...
And then they lost all their draft picks, so that didn't help.
Wally Serviak.
Sure.
And Latrell Sprewell and Sam Cassell. I think those were the 3 best players he played with.
That was a good team, Swiper.
No, yeah, but I'm saying,
bro, let me get to a couple of these super chats that are relevant to this. We got one from Anime Spurs fan. Tim Duncan's post defense and his ability to anchor the offense from post scoring made Duncan a more consistent player. Duncan gets slept on for his impact on defense.
I agree. I think Duncan's floor was higher, generally speaking, because of just he was stronger, better base, center of gravity, all of those things. He guarded Shaq better than KG could ever guard Shaq, for example. But I do think KG's post scoring does get underrated. He was a very effective post scorer. He didn't do it by getting himself closer to the basket for a bunch of hook shots and stuff like Duncan could, but he had such good touch on his turnaround jumpers that he still was very effective down there. But I don't think he put the same pressure on defenses that in that regard that Tim Duncan did. So that's why I think Duncan was the better scorer. But I do agree with what.
So where is the so since we're on this subject, where is the gap the biggest? Because I mean, Swiper, you just made a legit argument for Tim. You just made a legit argument for Kevin Garnett. Mars, you just made a legit argument. Where is the gap the biggest when it comes to positions?
For me, it's Braun and whoever's next.
And Bird, is there a huge gap between Braun and Bird?
Bird or KD?
Real quick before we move on to that position, let's get through these ones real quick. Okay. We do got a couple more super chats about.
Hello, Jordan. By the way, hello.
What up?
Drenchy.
Yeah, man. I had to get my workout on, man. I'm back in the lab, back in the gym. I'm locked in, man. You know, I'm getting strong as the house. I'm getting strong as an ox, man. You know what it is, man. I'm getting strong. Every day I'm in the gym. Swipe, I'm on your ass too. It's okay.
You will never catch up to me, brother.
I'm on your ass too, brother.
Nah, you will never catch up to me, my brother. You my dog though.
You slip one day and it's over with. You better not slip one day. It's over with.
I'm not gonna lie, Jordan. I can slip for a year and you still ain't gonna call that.
Not even 6 months.
Damn,
nah, bro, I'm not gonna lie.
Not a month. Not 6 months.
Hey, we gonna see.
It's not. If we're doing gaps, me and whoever's closest on PC is a bigger gap than any position. I tell you that much.
All right. Let me get this because Arian Fogel says the KG Duncan debate is adjacent to Peyton and Brady. One had the greatest coach and teams ever. The other a carousel of coaches and players.
Is that true?
No. Brady had,
wait. Peyton, well, hold on.
How was it not true? Because I could see the Peyton and KG.
Yeah, so Peyton Manning did. He had multiple first seeds that lost in the first round. That is true. Peyton Manning also never had. He had good defenses for a few years. He had the
Peyton Manning. You said?
Yeah, Peyton Manning. They had maybe the best
6 times. Just so you know, Swiper, 6 times. In the years that he was in the playoffs in Indianapolis, 6 of those 13 years they had a top 10 defense. That's half the time.
Yeah. So they had Robert Mathis and they had Dwight Freeney. So they did, but then they had a really good run game. Edgerrin James, really good receiving core. Peyton didn't always, but the Patriots were also elite. The Patriots were just better. And on top of that, Peyton Manning has a winning record versus Tom Brady in the AFC Championship games. He's 3-1 versus Tom Brady in AFC championships. He's 1-1 with the Colts, and he's 2-0 with the Broncos. So when it was winning time, Peyton actually won more and beat Brady and outperformed Brady in the games they played against each other in the AFC championship. But I think Peyton had a lot of issues going into the playoff for the first several years of his career, then beat Rex Grossman, sucked versus the Saints, threw a horrible interception.
That was for the game. Game's over.
They were down 7, and it was a drive.
We don't need no more points. We don't need no more points after
7,
that.
They needed
Game's
that.
over.
They needed that. Yeah, for sure. I think Peyton's the better. If you asked me, though, Ox, I still think Peyton's probably the better quarterback, like in a vacuum. Like if I just
he's
said,
the best thrower.
I agree.
It's one of them things like you dealing with Braun and you dealing with Jordan. Like LeBron got more talent. Michael Jordan got more greatness. Like that's Brady and Peyton Manning. Like you got the talent, but 7 times. Come on now, it take a level of greatness 7 times.
He was okay in the first 3 Super Bowls. He was all right. He was all right.
You got 4 more to pick from, Swiper.
I know.
You got 4 more to pick from.
But I'm saying he was in a lucky situation too.
Yeah, you do need some stuff to go your way.
Yeah.
Of course, but hey, that's a part of greatness though. But 7 times, and I'm leading it. Shit, he really supposed to be 10. I mean, he really supposed to be 9 times if Eli don't catch his ass twice. But you know, hey man, I'm a Peyton Manning fan too. I hate to give it to Brady, but I ain't. I give credit when it's due. That man, the GOAT, dog. That is what it is, bro. 7 times.
Oh yeah, he the GOAT. He the GOAT.
That's the GOAT.
He's not the best I've ever seen, but he's definitely the greatest. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He the greatest. That's it. The great don't mean the best. It's just
To answer Limited's question, Peyton Manning is the best pure passer that I've ever in my lifetime that I've ever seen.
Probably Aaron Rodgers for me.
Yeah, probably
3-step drop, 5-step drop. There he is. Hit him. Manning's the best that I've ever seen.
Peyton Manning got that. Peyton Manning got that drill work. Peyton Manning got drill work, chill. Aaron Rodgers is a natural. That motherfucker flick his wrist and joint go 30, 40 yards.
I think Rodgers is more talented. I'm not going to argue that point, but I just feel like
he has more arm talent.
I don't want to hold the show wrong. I mean,
we're talking about a choker. Oh my goodness!
Just a guy who can deliver the football better than, because I thought it was Dan Marino before I saw Peyton Manning. But
John always the best thrower of football ever coming out of the draft. Then it was Andrew Luck.
You know what? With Aaron Rodgers, that's just the California in that boy blood, man. He ain't no joke. We got one more about this situation from Raydell. I think Chill is just saying typically in the top 10 convos, Tim Duncan is usually in those talks versus KG. Duncan or Dirk, who weren't. Kobe, Steph, Larry, and multiple centers are also in those convos typically.
I think KG should be in those convos, but that's besides the point.
Can you make an argument
between Duncan and KG? I don't do it the way you do. Based on accolades, no, probably not. But based on how I do it, yeah. But I just think Duncan and KG is closer than LeBron and Larry Bird. I just think they're closer.
And again, I want to say that Mavs fans are right. I think Mavs fans make an argument that Dirk is in the conversation with them in as well. Like Mavs fans watched all of them play against.
And you can make the argument for Giannis if you're coming from like the peak prime aspect. And Giannis is like, no, I don't want to say sneakily. Like he's adding major longevity to what he's been doing. Like we're approaching a decade now where Giannis has been one of the best players in the sport. And it's like, he doesn't seem to be slowing that much defensively.
Yeah, Giannis from 19
but offensively, he doesn't seem to be slowing down.
I can make an argument. Giannis from 19 to 22 is better than all of them. Like I can make an argument that he's better than all of them.
Yeah, you could make the argument. I think it against the right person, it'd be a losing argument, but I think you can make the argument. Yeah,
we were saying a cease and desist for the argument, but you know,
no. What the thing is, but
Giannis's peak, like I think Giannis's peak was like his MVP level year, not the current Giannis, because I think the defense has just slipped too much for my preference. But like, if Giannis gets back with a competent roster, similar to the KG thing, because the last couple of years, especially the postseason I just watched, this roster is not competent. You give Giannis defensive pieces that are competent and he's able to ramp up that defensive motor again with this offensive game, I can see Giannis in these conversations easily. Like, I could very easily see that. Like, I don't think the power forward position is just locked down.
Yeah, whoever said his peak is from 23 to 25. I just read off his defensive numbers from this year, and I'm sorry, I'm just not doing that.
Yeah, I think this is his peak offensively, but I'm just really high on how good I think Giannis used to be defensively. Yeah, so I think that was his peak.
Giannis, and I know how you feel about KG. I know you're a KG guy, and I love KG too.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Giannis at his best as a defender for those, let's say, 3 years.
He know KG.
Can I put
if that's the angle you're taking, Chill? No, sir. No,
he know KG. He know KG. That's a different level. But he like
I don't know how
the next group down.
I don't know how high Mars is on it, but I don't think it's comparable. Personally, especially
I don't think he's KG or Duncan. I don't think
the peak level of defense. I don't think it's comparable at all. But I mean, I respect Giannis' game. I think Giannis was great. But if we're talking about Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett in their later 20s, you know what I'm saying? That 02 to 06 range, that time, I just can't see Giannis in those conversations with. And Tim Duncan was crazy. Like Tim Duncan, they were both just excellent basketball players. I don't know. I can't say, but I am curious to know where y'all was going with the small forward talks, because I thought it was going to be a Kevin Durant situation. Now here y'all talking about Larry Bird, and those.
I think I'm the only one up here that got Birded too. I think the rest of these guys got KD.
No, I have Birded too.
Oh, okay.
I also have Bird.
We was gonna find out on Sunday, but you guys spoiling it now. Okay.
I know, Mars. I'm not gonna say mine, so I'm gonna keep mine, Mars. I'm gonna keep mine.
No, you can because the list is. I think everyone knows what the top two. Everyone knows what the top two is gonna be. I don't think anyone's gonna watch it for the top two. So if you guys have Bird over KD or KD over Bird, that doesn't matter. But yeah, I think whoever it is, Bird or KD, I do think that gap is larger than Duncan and KG. But that's just how good I think LeBron is. I don't know.
Like, I was about to ask you that too.
This got to be the biggest gap.
Definitely. It's like between Michael Jordan and Kobe.
Unless you think Kobe is worse than Bird.
You ain't supposed to talk about Kobe up here, but unless you want to say Mike and Kobe.
LeBron is clearly like he's in GOAT talks. He's your GOAT, or he's your runner-up GOAT, because he didn't have enough championships. But if just player for player, there's no argument for him with anybody at 2 or 3 or 4, which is for me I've already said these lists, by the way. So but you can catch them up.
So
Yeah,
there's no
my list is
argument.
112, by the way. So
Kevin Durant. There's no argument for Kevin Durant.
no,
No.
Larry Bird,
Like,
Kevin Durant, or
the
Dr.
biggest
J.
argument KD has against, in my opinion, a guy like Larry Bird is his longevity. The issue is LeBron has the greatest longevity ever. So like KD's strongest argument, besides the scoring, is longevity, and Bron has better longevity. And then you start factoring in the all-around game, the defensive peak that Bron hit, the playmaking, the passing, how deadly he was in transition. Like Bron might be the best player ever. Like I know some people don't want to hear that, but a lot of people do. Like Bron might be the best player to ever exist.
Right.
Bird is not in those talks.
He's not.
Like he's just not. And like KD is also not in those talks. Like it's just
KD is in those talks more. A lot of people talk about it.
Well,
Yeah,
by the way,
I don't know anyone who has said KD is the best player ever.
KD's
Even
in
Dell.
the Hoop Venue
Even Dell, I
started
don't know.
this. There's a cult that's on Twitter that KG is a top 10 player ever. There's community of people that do believe that. It's like a
lot of
small
My type
cult.
of people. My type of people.
Yeah, and Mars is one of them.
Way.
Hoop Venue's one of them. There's a few out there that are they're necromancers. They exist in the shadows. But I will say that
what swipe a necromancer?
It's a term from a Vin Diesel movie. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So it's just
What
you're not in the movie
that's
world.
We exist in the darkness.
Huh?
We exist in the darkness.
That's that Chronicles of Riddick.
Yep.
Mars, how the hell do you know that movie?
I don't know. He just said we'd exist in the shadows, so I just turned off my lights. I was trying to.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what he's talking about.
So is the consensus up here that
Necroman.
KG is the second best power forward ever? Is that what I'm understanding from you guys?
It's 1A, 1B to me.
Okay.
I mean, and I know I'm sorry.
I'll say Duncan. I'll say Duncan's the best because So KG would be 2.
But KG is right behind him, and there's not as big a gap.
Yeah, there's not a gap.
There's not a gap. So these guys. Same thing with you, Swiper. Is there an Ox? Stay right there. Stay right there.
Go ahead.
With you, Swiper, is there a gap between how big is the gap between KG and Duncan?
I mean, player. That's the thing, man.
Yeah.
I was going. Well, if I start doing this Mars' way, which I'm not saying it's incorrect, but if I really do a true recalibrating based on like level of play, Duncan's probably falling out of. No, he's there's not a huge gap between him and Garnett. No, but then Dirk is also then not too far away, and then Giannis ain't far away at all, and then there's Barkley and Malone and all them.
I think Dirk is a step behind. Personally, I think Dirk is a step behind.
But I'm saying, Mark, how can you watch them? I'm saying at some point, like me, if I was Dirk, I'm saying if my name was Dirk Nowitzki and I was a German man married to a black woman, right? I would not feel, Jordan, that way. Because I played them, and I destroyed them when I played them, and therefore
they couldn't guard Dirk. They couldn't guard Dirk. But I don't know anyone when Dirk got into that mode who could guard Dirk ever.
Respect Pablo Prigioni.
Respect T-Mac that one series, but like he still wasn't. Me personally, I don't want to spot. I don't know if Dirk's better than number 32. I don't know if.
That's what I was getting to, because I'm telling y'all right now, if he would have won 97 or 98, the conversation around him would be much different as well.
Absolutely, it would. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was between him and the other guys.
But I'm just talking some Swiper's point, just level of play, and not necessarily was your team good enough to win the championship? Because as you see, Chill, we're having a Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan conversation. So if it's just about winning, it shouldn't even be a conversation. But that's not what it's all about, because on any given day, I can have Kevin Garnett as the best power forward, and the next day I'll say Tim Duncan. You can't ask me about who's the best power forward of all time and expect consistency from me. You know what I'm saying? Because you can expect me to consistently flip flop between Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett.
That's why I do the exact same thing. Yeah,
and that's just where it is for them. But after that, I do think that it's a Malone conversation, a Giannis conversation. All those guys: Giannis, Dirk, Malone, Kevin McHale. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of Barkley for sure.
I've conceded the Giannis Barkley thing. I've conceded that. Yes,
you're welcome, Chill. Chill. Can you tell me your 13 favorite plays from Karl Malone all time?
My
You're
13th
disgusting.
favorite
Oh,
player.
You're
Swiper, what's
disgusting.
up, bro?
It was your
You're-
birthday
Oh,
yesterday.
why?
It was your birthday
Why?
yesterday. It was your
Whoa,
birthday.
matter of
What are your
fact-
favorite players?
No, matter of fact, don't worry about it,
That's
Chill.
the- that's
Don't
the
worry about it.
forte,
I
brother.
got a
That's
question for
forte.
Mars. Only Mars can answer this question.
Only I can do it. Yes.
I think correctly. What do you call a crocodile that likes to bowl?
A crocodile that likes to bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jordan.
Ox
What
might
do
be
you
able to
call-
get it too. He's smiling. He got kids. He might be able to get it.
What do you call a crocodile that likes to bowl, Jordan?
An alligator.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Come on, Mars. I thought you had it.
It's a dad joke, Mars. That's
Come
what
on,
it is.
Mars. I thought you had it.
It's a dad joke, Mars.
It's no way.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
It's no way. As
Did you read
clever
a
as
dad
you
joke
are.
book where you got that from?
It's a dad
That's
joke,
hilarious.
Mars.
No, I got.
Oh my!
I think I
It's
got
no
right
way,
down.
Mars. It is no way. bro.
Now I can appreciate you.
I
Ox,
would
when
I
you
would
say-
suspend you for that joke, Jordan.
I
That's,
can-
that's
I-
terrible.
I can appreciate Ox where what would make but my question to you, Ox, is what would make you continuously flip flop? Like one day it's Duncan, and then the next day it's Garnett, and then the next day, like why aren't you on this side of the fence? Why do you keep jumping from this side of the fence to this side? Of the
Well,
fence?
honestly,
I know how you feel about Garnett, by the way. I do.
Yeah.
I know how you
Well,
feel, and
honestly,
rightfully so.
because if we talk about just straight game, my first instinct is KG. My first instinct says KG, but then you got to just my first instinct says KG, but then I remember, and I'm having visions of Tim Duncan, and it's just like, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea who's better between these two dudes. But then you got to keep it real about never missing the playoffs. Five championships. I got to think about that for Tim Duncan. But in honestly though, I think Kevin Garnett was a better just straight hoop.
Yeah.
I got KG. Straight hoop talk. I got KG. I can stand on that. Like I've seen things. Chill. Like he had everything. And the biggest thing with Kevin Garnett that I'll say against everybody is I think y'all really sleeping on his scoring ability and how good he was on offense. I think he's very underrated on that. And y'all act like KG wasn't a bucket.
He was.
He was.
I don't understand. I don't
Money
understand
mid-range
how
game,
you know what I'm saying?
great in
He was a
transition.
bucket.
Amazing
Bucket.
mid-range game. After Dirk, because Dirk is the gold standard for power forwards. I think
Yeah.
KG's next.
Money
KG
mid-range
32
game.
as well, but like.
Well,
not
to be
so
fair,
much.
Kevin Durant's been playing power forward for the last 7 years. So
Stop,
good for
bro.
him, but
Give me a break.
unfortunately his prime is a small forward, so we're not talking about him right now.
Right.
But yeah, KG's mid-range was amazing. Like
Yeah.
it felt like he didn't miss. And if he just decided to just move his toe right behind the line, maybe he would have been a little bit better.
That 19-footer was lethal.
Is it- what's
KG
the-
would shoot a 22-footer just because he could. Like,
What's the gap in your estimation? Because I've always wondered this. What's the gap between Jordan and Bryant at 2-guard spot?
You want me to go first? Because I go first. And I know.
Please
I'm
do,
not-
Jordan. I'll tell you, Scottie
It's-
Pippen. But go ahead, though, Jordan.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
so damn near triple double. That's the gap. Damn near triple double.
Listen.
Scottie Pippen.
Listen, the gap to me is large, bro. Like, I know everybody want to think Kobe is the second coming of Jordan. Cool. That's how y'all want to see it because we need greatness in our game. We need that type of storyline and narrative. But just go compare the two games. And I say this with all due respect. Like, Michael Jordan game was way more polished than Kobe Bryant's game. And by choice.
What do you mean by polished? What do you mean by polished?
Some of the shots that Kobe take was ridiculous. Like, was just absolutely ridiculous.
for
Like,
sure.
and I call it sloppy, but I don't mean it in a disrespectful manner. I just mean it like that's just what he wanted to do. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna just take a turnaround fadeaway over two people because I just don't feel like passing it right now. Like, not saying Mike didn't do stuff like that. Kobe did it a lot. Like, he did it a lot, and it's okay though. Like, he was great at what he did. He was the best in his era. But at the same time, the gap is large. Like, Mike is the most fundamental player of all time, and the best fundamental player of all time. I would say that the best fundamental player of all time, meaning he can do everything, no weakness. Some people might say, "Oh, he can't shoot the 3-ball." If he wanted to, he might could have. Damn near. So
that's what he would say.
yeah, I mean, I know because I know if he wanted to, Mike would be able
You
to
think
do
that gap's bigger than the gap between Bron and Birds?
it. No, hell no.
Yeah, that's
No.
where I'm at. But
No, it's not that big.
Is it
but
big?
it's big, though.
Is it bigger? Like when we start moving down the list, like Jordan, Bryant, Wade? Like, does the gap get larger when we move
Say that
down
again, Chill. Say that again.
So when we move down the list, okay, so the gap between Bryant and Jordan, you think it's a significant gap, but then we move down the list, Jordan and Wade, like it's
a way bigger gap.
Okay, and when we do that, I want to get back to what Swiper was talking about with the power forward spot, because it sounds to me like what you guys are telling me is that the gap in the power forward spot, when you move down the list, it isn't really much of a gap until we get to later on in the.
Well, I don't understand how you could think
that's
otherwise.
What I think. Yeah,
I don't understand how you think otherwise when they all played. I would argue
it's the closest position.
I would argue, what is that? 3 of the 6 best all played in the same era, and they all played against each other. They all got off on each other,
and they all hit their prime at around the same time. Duncan and KG were a bit before.
And they all ate. Every single one of them ate. They all ate from each other's plate. Every single one of them. Sure. It's just that I think Duncan was better, but I don't think KG was that far off, and I don't think Dirk was that far off.
Like, I mean, at the time, 03, 04, that time, like, it wasn't seen. They were just neck and neck for most people. So it's interesting how, like,
and to be fair, Duncan kind of trailed off. Chill. By the time you get to 07, 8, I'm saying he's really good, but he's good offensively, but defensively is when he's kind of like still like arguably best defender in the sport. But remember, by the time you get to 06, 07, Dirk, that's when he starts taking off, and Dirk gets prime Dirk.
At the same time, though, Swiper.
And then hold on, 03, don't forget Chris Webber was still Chris Webber was
going crazy too.
Chris Webber was going crazy.
Chris Webber.
He wasn't Duncan and KG, but he was.
But he was in 03, he was still a really good back. He was still great.
That's when he cracked his knee against Sacramento. That's when he cracked his knee again. I want to say against Dallas in the playoffs, and he was never the same after that.
But that's in the playoffs though. I'm talking about up all the way up to that. Though.
But then by the time, like I said, you get to 7, I think Dirk. I think he make an argument. I was the best player in the regular season. He can make an argument. Again, I'm saying these players can make these arguments. And then by the time you get to 10, 11, Dirk is like
the best of the 3
comfortably. Yeah, like I'm still here and dominating, and I'm going to win Finals MVP. Whereas Duncan, Garnett was already like, and then Duncan was just like kind of coasting at this point as like an elite defensive player, and that's a credit to him, because by the time you get to 2014, Chill, I don't know where he finished in DPOY, but I mean,
but at the same time though, when we talk about Tim Duncan, kind of turning into a defensive player, like. At the same time, that's the Spurs system, though. The Spurs system is not really letting everybody get off like how, and it was a well-oiled machine at that time too. So I don't think it's a knock on Tim Duncan game. I just think he just was in that system.
Well, I don't think he was able to do it either. I think it's a mix of both of those things. I don't think he would never a volume scorer like that.
He was out of the top 10 at that point.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think he was a volume scorer, but I still think he would have been as impressive as he was in 03, 04 by 07. You know what I mean? I think so. By 07, 08, I think he would have been still as impressive had that not been the system for the Spurs.
I think the regression was noticeable by that point, because in the 05 playoffs, when he was dealing with his foot problems, from that point on, I think his just quickness, the agility stuff. Because Ox says it all the time. Young Duncan was moving, like he wasn't KG. But young Duncan was moving, like he was crazy.
You talking about the one that was swimming? You talking about the one that used to swim?
Yeah, swimmer Duncan. Like young Duncan was moving, and I think the quickness and the agility started to decline from like 05 onwards. Like if I were to do a timeline, I did it with Kobe the other day, Kobe and Duncan. When you got the time when KG was the only one of them in the league, so he was the best of the 3 just off that. And then Duncan comes in 97, 98 season. From 98 to like 02, I think Duncan was a better player. 03 to 05, I think Duncan and KG were alternating. They were the 2 best power forwards in the game. I don't know who the best was. They were alternating. 06 onwards, I think Dirk was the best of the 3 from 06 onwards. Overall, 06 to like 2011-ish. KG was the 2nd best and Duncan was the 3rd best. That's how I feel. Like, and then each season it will change. Like Dirk was probably the best in the 06 season. In the 07 season, it was probably Dirk again. In 08, I think it was KG. In 09, it was probably KG before he tore his meniscus. It was probably him, but then he tore his meniscus, so then it's probably Dirk again.
Dirk. Yeah.
So and then 10, 11, I think is very easily Dirk, and then Duncan comes back, has his resurgence in like 2012, 2013, and I think he's the best again until they all leave the league, because KG in Brooklyn tenure was not the greatest. So that's how I think it went.
KD,
I think they were close. That's it.
KG Brooklyn tennis should never happen. That should never even popped up. Period.
But I think they were close. That's what I'm saying. I think they were close.
When you seen KG in that Timberwolves jersey again, that was enough to make you cry.
So to your point,
I understand that one though, Ox. I understand that one. I don't understand the Brooklyn one, but I understand that one.
If I ran down, like for example, like Duncan and KG, so the defensive player of the year, 98, 99, Duncan finished 5th, Garnett finished 7th. In 2000, there was nothing, and Garnett finished 7th. In 01, the 2000-2001 season, Duncan finished 3rd, Garnett finished 2nd. In 01-02, Duncan finished 4th, Garnett finished 2nd. I'm sorry. In 02-03, Duncan finishes 4th, Garnett finishes 3rd. In 03-04, Duncan finishes 7th. Wow. Garnett finishes 6th. In 05, Duncan finishes 4th, Garnett finishes 9th. In 06, Duncan finishes 6th, Garnett finishes outside the top 10 at 13. In 07, Duncan finishes 3rd, Garnett finishes 13. In 08, Duncan finishes 9th, Garnett finishes, he wins the defensive player of the year that year.
Mm-hmm.
In 08-09, Duncan finishes 11, Garnett is 8. Yes, he's 8. And in 10, that's when it gets tricky. He finishes 14. Garnett wasn't in the top 10 at that point. In 11, he wasn't in the top 15. Duncan wasn't in the top 15. In 11, Garnett finishes 2nd in defensive player of the year. Wow. And then in 12, no. And in 12, Garnett finishes 5th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry, 6. 6 of them in 10 years, Duncan finishes in the top 10, and he doesn't finish higher than 3rd. Garnett, in 10 years, I got 1, 2, 3. I got 4 top 10 finishes, and he doesn't finish lower in those 3. He doesn't finish lower than 3rd of those 4 of them, where he finishes 2nd twice, he finishes 2nd 3 times, finishes 3rd once, and then wins the DPOY 5 times. That's pretty impressive. But then when I go to the league MVP, this is where this gets tricky with me, because I know how you guys feel about the league MVP, and I mean, I'm pretty consistent with the league MVP too. But to your point, Moss, when I look at Garnett and I look at Duncan, they were pretty consistent with each other at that time. So like Duncan, 3rd in league MVP votes in 99, 5th in 2000, 2nd in 2001, won it in back-to-back seasons in 2002 and 2003. In 04, he finishes 2nd to Garnett. In 05, he finishes top 5. Garnett wasn't in it. At 06, he finishes 8th that year. In 07, he finishes top 5 again. In 08, he finishes top 10. In 09, he finishes outside the top 10. That's more than Garnett did. But
that's because of winning, though. You know how MVP
right.
Yeah, the Timberwolves missing the playoffs all
right.
years. So,
that didn't help the situation. But does that is that a testament to Duncan still performing? Because it wasn't like Duncan wasn't. I'm sorry, Garnett wasn't performing at that time, because he still was getting busy. It's just that we weren't very good.
Timberwolves sucked. Yeah,
we just weren't very good at that point.
Well, I think that's because of the MVP stuff is because of the winning. The defensive player of the year stuff is weird because a lot of those years you read out for Duncan, Bruce Bowen was finishing ahead of him. And it's like Duncan, in my opinion, was like clearly the best defender in that team, but the voters were voting for Bruce Bowen.
Well, the assignments that Bowen was taking in.
I understand why they did it. It's just like me personally, I think Duncan was the most impactful defender. But like Duncan was coming second on his own team in defensive player of the year. KG was coming top 5, winning it top 2, blah blah blah. And I don't know. It's weird. Like the voting stuff, is what it is to me. But like I think that stuff does indicate like they were close. Like the further we get removed from their careers, and people are just people in general, not you guys. I know you guys watch the games. People in general are just going to look, and it's going to be like Duncan has achieved 5 rings, 15 all defense, all of these all stars, all these all NBAs, and then KG in comparison doesn't really stack up. He has like 12 all defense, 9 all NBA, so he doesn't have as much. But like at the time when they were both playing, they were neck and neck. Like they were that close. It was that comparable. Like I just feel like the further we get removed from things, the more what was happening at the time seems to get missed, and I don't know
Which
why.
is
That
wild
is.
as hell too, Ox, because we watching that game yesterday. And I ain't realized how bad Minnesota was. Them dudes was trash.
Shout out to Stanley Roberts, man. Shout out to Stanley Roberts,
It was
man.
garbage, yo. I'm watching that shit. I'm like, I can't believe. I see why Garnett was getting bounced.
Nah, chill. Because if you're gonna do that, then go watch the 76ers to play against the Lakers. That team was garbage.
Yeah.
What that boy said, we done with the 90s. That's
you know, respecting Eric Snow?
Hell no. Him, what's the other one? Theo Ratliff? What's his name?
You got traded.
Good. No, relax.
Yeah, they had
that team was good.
They had Tyronn Hill,
Tyronn Hill, you out your damn mind.
Young Raja Bell was on that.
There wasn't a better. There wasn't a better ball player in the league than Tyronn Hill at the time. So please relax.
It wasn't a better what?
All right.
It's that time for host.
That's because MJ wasn't back.
Go ahead.
All right,
MJ wasn't back. That's why.
Let me get through this. Let me get through the what do we call this section?
Tyronn Hill was like 29.
Oh,
like
crunch
a full
time
dad.
chats. That's right. Let me get to these crunch time chats real quick. Let's start off with Tupac West Side. Happy Friday, gents. Days where there's little to do at work are the best. As for JT, I don't know what he's trying to pull. First, Jeff Teague. That's right. We'll get to that definitely. First, LeBron is on roids, and now this.
What happened with the next Jeff Teague thing?
Well, we'll get to that. Let's get.
He said Paulo is better than Wemby, but
and then we'll double back on that. Fizzy for Facts became
Fizzy
a
Facts.
member.
Fizzy Facts.
Right,
what up?
All right.
Marate, some damn Tanzambi.
Yep.
Ron used to say it perfect.
Appreciate you, man.
Some shit like that.
And we don't have revisionist history on Ron and his readers.
Debo 54. Bro. Debo 5434 became a YouTube member. Appreciate
brother.
you.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Brian Cook 7696. Within the last year and a half, Kobe slander has
Dad, I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Within the last year and a half, Kobe slander has skyrocketed. Is it Shay's and Joker's peak year hype? The root cause? Okay.
I think the Shea thing is definitely a part of it, but I think people are just having disagreements on like where they have Kobe all time. But I'll say this too, Mars. Before the show, and I was feeling a little nostalgic, you know what I mean? I was watching some Kobe stuff and I got to 2020, right? Because nobody knew me in 2020 prior to all that stuff. I somehow landed myself on the Doc Rivers the day of when the accident happened. I'm crying at 10:15 a.m. all over again. Like, so I feel like Kobe's emotional for me. And I'm not a Kobe stan lifelong. I just was a fan of Kobe. Sure. So I understand why a lot of people feel that way. Like it's a very, for a lot of people, it's extremely personal. And at the time they felt like he was getting, and on top of that, people felt like he was getting disrespected in the 2000s, let alone now. Yeah, people thought he should have won multiple MVPs in the 2000s. Ox. So
but we know why he didn't.
I know, but we know why he didn't. No, I know, but I know people were feeling like that. They were already feeling some angst about Kobe then. And then I think as time went on and you saw other people getting multiple MVPs, and then now you get in this era, you got people like Penn, who I think is making his own argument that Shea's better than any version of Kobe that there's been. Then yeah, I think that's where
I don't agree with that on any level. I don't.
When I first got on PC and I said that about Kobe not winning all them MVPs, I gotta ask Mars. Remember, Mars disagreed with me when I said the reason why Kobe didn't win those MVPs was because of his situation, and it was an uproar.
Oh, yeah, I remember that conversation.
Do you like disagree with it now that you thought about it, or do you still stand on your saying?
I think I said it might be a part. I just don't think it was the whole thing. I think I gave the reasons why Nash won it. I think it was more than just comes about 06. I think it was more than just the Colorado stuff. I think it was the typical MVP stuff with Nash, and Kobe was a 6 seed. Mm-hmm. But I do think that might have been a part of it. I can't remember who it was. It was an article I read based on 08. And some voter said that like obviously the Colorado stuff had an impact on some voters' opinions of Kobe. So I definitely acknowledge that. I think it was a part of it. But even that year, and I remember this is what I said, that year Kobe had the second most first place votes. Like there were people who think he should have been the MVP. It's just it was an atypical MVP season. He was a 6th seed, all of that stuff. So I think it was more just Nash had a better MVP case than it was the Colorado.
This was in 06 that we're talking about.
Yeah, but I do think it was a part of it that played.
I think it was a big.
I think it played into it for a few years.
I think I think it was a big part of it. Just in the NBA alone, just them having it. Like I think I make the argument when I first came on. Like they needed a fresh face. Like it's business at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like you needed somebody to come in and clean up the image a little bit. And not taking away from Nash, he still had a successful season. Still had a great season. But you got to grow the game. You can't. That would have been a slap in the face to a bunch of people. It's still people to this day who are ignorant and don't know that case well enough that still bring that up.
You losing?
Oh man, and your mic is muted.
Ain't no way this dude late to practice. Ain't no way this dude.
Hello. Hey, y'all done made me come out of class. I'm out of class because I'm tired of this bullshit about Kobe Bryant. Every fucking day it's something about Kobe. Stop talking about Kobe. Everybody's fucking better than Kobe nowadays. Steph better, Tracy McGrady better, Gilbert Arenas better. Everybody better than Kobe. Okay, we got it. Move on.
Hey, why you cut off my mic though?
Such a derail.
Ron is actually Ron is the worst host to ever grace stage.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
Talking about Kobe. Damn.
Well, why you cut my mic? I was just
Y'all
defending.
niggas don't like him. You hate on her every chance you get. We got it. It's cool. Damn. Next subject. Ron Super Chat. Something. Golly.
I got you, real talk. You want Super Chats, real talk? I got you. So Super Chats. Better late than never, right, fellas?
It's awful that we can't have a conversation about him. Like that's all we was doing. We was just talking. It wasn't no hate.
And I was defending Kobe.
Jordan was making a point about Bryant. We were not having this was not any slander party or anything like this. Jordan was making a point, a legit point, by the way, about him.
Yeah, I was defending Kobe. Everybody got their nonsense about him, but I was defending Kobe. I understand what it was around that time. I'm telling you, like, I hate when people bring it up too. Like when they bring up Kobe, like, he had the situation in Colorado, and I'm like,
he was 3 years removed from that, by the way.
Yeah, but that's how they gonna do you like that until Kobe had to dare. He had to win a championship for people to forget about it. So, like, I just feel
crazy, which is crazy though, because if it's that serious, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a championship.
I would agree,
that's all it takes is a basketball game.
But if people just go do their research and stop just listening to stuff, you would have a different opinion on what happened. Not justifying or whatever, but you would have a different opinion on it. But
right, yeah, I already know.
Yeah, people bring this up as if it's like, I hate when they bring it up like, what's the little joint? The Gayle King, she brought that crap up to Lisa Leslie, or what was it? She bring up to Lisa Leslie?
Snoop Dogg, a bunch of people.
Yeah, she brought that up, and it's like, bro, why you did that? Like, why did you do that? But
I don't know.
That goes back to the point in 06 to where I feel like that the NBA had to, like, you just had to change the landscape of what the league was. I mean, you couldn't do that, man. You just could not do it because it would have just been. I mean, the same shit with Mike Vick too. You know what I mean? Like, not saying it wasn't deserving, but the same thing. You got to clean up the league.
Mike Vick was wilding.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, though, you know what I'm saying? Mike served his time, did what he had to do, got back to the league, and did his thing too. So
yeah, he had a tough time though. He had a tough.
Yeah.
Year.
Oh, definitely did. And trust me, I mean, I'm not. I'm not trying to play the moral police or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I think we all love animals, and we know he did the wrong thing or whatever. But you know, he served his time. So
I agree with you.
You serve your time, you get back to your job. But let's finish blowing through some of these crunch time chats. You know, this is a segment where we do that, especially when we have a W host in the building.
Host of the year right here.
AKA Leroy says, I made a post on TikTok stating that 2010 Lakers was the worst team to win a championship in the 2010s. Someone responded that they had 2 top 10 players on the team. Was Pau Gasol ever top 10?
I think he had an argument for it. He was a 13 All NBA player, but
yes, I agree.
My first instinct is no.
You're right.
My first instinct is no. He wasn't top 10, definitively top 10. No, not at all. But
in the playoffs he was.
But I'm saying like he was good enough to where he could compete with all the great bigs of his time. Or Pau Gasol was a really good basketball player, and I think that those 2010 team, the players on that team, I think they get disrespected, specifically Lamar Odom. You know what I'm saying? So I think those teams.
He was giving Kevin Garnett the business in the finals. So I mean, we can go back and watch those series.
He had a really good series in the finals in 2010. Yeah. I don't think he was a top 10 player though. I don't think so. Not on first instinct. I'd have to go.
That probably hurts Kevin Garnett.
He is a hell of a number 2 though, boy. When you talk about being a number 2, Paul Gasol fit that mold.
Him and that passing with him and Kobe in the in between was.
Man, even when he went to the Bulls, even when he played for the Spurs,
Bulls Paul Gasol is underrated. Like 2015, Bulls Paul Gasol is underrated.
Paul Gasol being a number 2, boy, that need to be like when you think of a number 2 superstar, you damn near got to put his face up there, boy. He fit the mold for sure.
You got to.
He was great.
D Barber 1313. Hot take. Dirk is a better representation of Mamba mentality than Kobe. I should proofread these.
What?
Obviously, Kobe is the better player, but Dirk should get that boost too.
What is Mamba mentality? Like when you guys hear Mamba mentality, what does that register in your mind as? Like, what do you think?
Kobe?
Other than just Kobe, like what does it mean? What does it mean?
An example. So Mamba mentality is just locked in, just go after guys.
Yes. I'm out of class because I'm tired of this bullshit about Kobe Bryant.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm
something about Kobe. Stop talking about Kobe. Everybody's fucking better than Kobe nowadays. Steph better, Tracy McGrady better.
I'm good.
This is a pre-recorded thing. What the fuck?
Yeah, this is from yesterday. I think I'm good. I'm good on him today. Yeah, Ox, for real. I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'll see you later, bro.
So.
This is an all-time bad hosting performance, and you've been here for 6 minutes.
Just complete full derail of the show. An hour and a half late. Full derail of the show, bro.
I'm derailing the show, and he said Dirk is a better representation of Mamba mentality than Kobe, and y'all mad at me.
Ron, what we trying to get to the bottom of?
Yeah, because we was actually going to have a conversation, but
that was nasty though. I ain't gonna lie, that super chat is nasty.
Yeah, we obviously disagree.
I think that was a crazy super chat.
Yeah, all of us disagree with the super chat, but then we used that to leapfrog to a good conversation of what Mamba mentality is, and then Roman to go do his thing, be the center of
giving real talk his run in this conversation.
Yeah, you wanted to be Russell Westbrook, you wanted to be ball dominant. Like,
I know real talk has something to say about this.
To talk about Kobe, so we're not doing that, Ron. What's next, Ron? Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, we can read the next super chat as well.
What's next, Ron? We listening to you.
Brian,
hey, Ox, this was not happening. He's not going to show up to practice late, then kick all the balls over. Right? Then kick all the balls over and just tell us to get back to work. No, that's not happening.
No.
You running practice.
No, Ron, you are absolutely hosting. You got
running it, Ron. You're not going to come to practice late. You're not going to come to practice late. Basically, shoes untied, walking on the floor. You're going to knock the ball rack over, all the balls all over the floor, and then now you're going to tell us, y'all can get back to practice. No, Ron.
It's not just me, by the way. It's me and my cousin, Real Talk. We both here, and we want to talk about the right things today. Joshua Kumar said, random question: will you guys be covering the Euro Cup this summer? I think Luka, Jokic, and Giannis are playing in it.
Eurobasket? Is that what you're talking about?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Is that going on? I did not know that was going on.
It's next month, right?
Yeah.
That's fire.
Luka gonna play in it? Luka really gonna play in it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's what they said. They said he'd been already in Slovenia, right? Out there practicing.
I
don't know. I thought he said. I thought they said he was joining them early August, but I don't know.
Okay.
So I saw something about I'm in the dark. The Euro Cup. What is the Euro Cup exactly? So I can.
It's Eurobasket. It's like the FIBAs.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
But for European teams and Israel somehow.
So these dudes are just playing for their countries, like the Olympics almost.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
What do you mean somehow, Mars?
Somehow.
Yo.
I just want to make sure I was following you guys. That's all. Mm-hmm.
But you know what though? I think that's a good sign. Luka is still young. There's no reason why Luka can't play in the Euro, the tournament. I think it's good to see him playing, and I think that should be a good time for the Lakers and Lakers fan. Now Luka's in shape. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You
he
know
looks
what I mean?
Great too, Ox. He does. He looks great.
I think that's a good time for them, but I think y'all should be scared. I'm scared. I'm scared for them because Luka Doncic. I know we talked about it yesterday, Chill, but I think he's a little disgruntled. I think he feels some type of way. I think this is one of those vengeance type seasons,
and he should.
I think y'all might want to watch out, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like Luka ain't nothing to play with.
He always kill like overseas, though.
I was about to say that too.
Oh, and I'm not even talking about the overseas swap. I'm talking about come October when the NBA season starts.
Oh, he's gonna have a great season.
I think the Lakers have done a good job putting. I think that Marcus Smart pickup was great. I think they need to leave Keon alone. But if that Marcus Smart pickup is a great pickup. DeAndre Ayton's a good basketball player. LeBron James is still a good basketball player. That's a good team. Austin Reeves ain't nothing to play with neither. Y'all better watch out for the Lakers.
Hey, but why do people I seen, especially the Lakers fans, why was y'all hating on that Marcus Smart pickup? That is an excellent pickup for them.
It is
like a legit excellent pickup for them. Like number one, you get another somewhat of a playmaker. Number two, you get another defender. Number three,
not Jordan, not another, the only.
Okay, the only defender.
Yeah.
And then we're on number 2 or 3. I forgot. Let's go.
3.
Okay, so we on number
playmaker,
3.
we went defender. Where we at?
And then now we got number 3. He don't need nobody to create a shot for him. Marcus Smart can do whatever he needs to do. You might not like it. You might think sometimes, man, why the hell he do that? That's Marcus Smart. You watched him with the Celtics. He went and got his own shots. He didn't need nobody creating shots for him. I don't know if y'all remember the game in the playoffs, but he took that game winner. That shit was crazy. It went in and out, though, and then somebody got the tip in for it. But the fact that Marcus Smart does stuff like that, like you need a player who don't just rely on, here, LeBron, get the ball, I'm going to go stand in the corner. Hell no. Marcus Smart is a hell of a
Would it be his availability?
Me changed my mind about the Lakers.
Would it be his availability though? Because I mean, Swiper had alluded to this. I think he's played under 70 games in the last 2 years. And
68, I believe, in 3 years.
And the the injuries,
it hasn't been significant injuries though.
Yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying. Like he had a hand injury, he had an ankle injury. Like the ankle injury,
he might just didn't want to play for those guys.
They're on tanking teams. Like when you're on a tanking team and you're a winning player and you have a minor injury, they're gonna that 1 week injury all of a sudden 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was with Marcus Smart. Like he's dealing with some finger injuries and some hand injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he dealt with a lower body injury, a knee injury that kept him out for 3 months, then it's like, oh, there's major injury concerns.
Yep.
I don't think that I view it as Al Horford in OKC. He's taken about 2 years off. He's gonna be fresh to play winning basketball. That's how I view it. Like I think you've got a rejuvenated Marcus Smart. It's not like he's had to be rehabbing and he hasn't been able to play, like he hasn't been able to shoot or do anything. He hasn't been able to run up and down. I think you've got a Marcus Smart that's going to be fresh to play winning basketball. I think it's an amazing acquisition.
Yeah, that's what I said. I saw the talk about that, and I've been wanting to say something, but I don't like Lakers fans attacking me. And then real talk get a little sensitive about the Lakers, so I got to leave it alone. But that's a hell of a pickup. I didn't like Gil saying that too. Like, what the hell are the Lakers doing? I'm like, bro, that's a really good pickup for him, for them.
What are they supposed to say? No to Marcus Smart?
They was basically saying they letting anybody.
I didn't see many Lakers fans who were upset with the pickup there, so I'm on a different side of the time.
Yeah, I did. I seen it. Gil was number one. He was number one with it. He did it as soon as they. Yeah, he a Lakers fan.
Somehow I don't know how. Well, he's from Cali, so that makes sense.
Yeah, but he was number one. Real talk ain't really like the pick either. John D was all right with it, but I feel like, man, he gonna be a hell of an acquisition. But also, bro, did y'all see Russell Westbrook hand? I know all year I was talking about how I felt like he had
his hand's been jacked up for years.
Bro, his hand is horrible. They say he just had the surgery. It looked like he got one knuckle for 4 of his fingers. That's what his hand looked like.
His hands have been jacked up for years.
Yeah, bro, his hands is just horrible. I don't know how he come back and play. To be honest with you,
I've seen people waiting for the resolution of the Ben Simmons sweepstakes before they get Russell Westbrook. So out to the Ben Simmons sweepstakes. We'll see where he's at.
Is Russ gonna go back to Denver or what?
No.
Doubtful.
I seen something like Milwaukee.
Or is it Jalen Pickett?
I seen something like Milwaukee, but I'm like, ain't no way you want.
Okay.
There's no way you want Russ in Milwaukee with Giannis. There's no way you want.
He'd be the best guard.
I think Atlanta.
He would be the best guard on the roster. So we'll go ahead and please.
If I'm Atlanta, that's where I'm looking. I'm looking at Russ. If I'm Atlanta.
For Russ, yeah, he can push the floor. You can probably move Trey Young a little bit off the ball too sometimes.
He's gonna back up Trey.
He's gonna back him up. I'm just saying sometimes you can run them together.
Occasionally.
But Atlanta, Boston.
Swiper, you was quick. You were quick to say no with that Russell Westbrook coming back to Denver. Like, you out on Russ? Like, you good?
No, I just know he's not coming back.
Okay.
Yeah, they're moving in a new direction.
Why you don't like
this direction?
Mars, why you don't like Russ in Boston?
Because I don't think they're trying to win.
Russ wants to go somewhere trying to win.
No, I think they're trying to make the playoffs, maybe. But like Atlanta, I think is genuinely trying to make a postseason run. And I think Atlanta just makes sense. My biggest concern with Atlanta is their playmaking outside of Trey. Russ is someone who can still get into the paint, can still make decisions, can still do all of those things. And then, like you said, even like, because Trey's going to play about 34, 35 minutes a game. So that's 13 minutes right there that Russ is going to play regardless. And then for like another 7-ish minutes, you can play them together where you get Trey off the ball. Because last year they experimented a little bit with Trey off the ball and he was getting some more spot up threes. And Trey can shoot the hell out the ball. You get Trey some spot up threes, some corner threes. That helps him as well. So, if I'm Atlanta, I don't know if they listen.
Russ is going to be looking at a situation where he's going to walk in more than likely if it's a bad team, he might get more time, but they have young players they want to develop. I think that the issue is with Russ, if he, like, for instance, if he came back to Denver, he would be the 13th, 12th man on this team. So I think he wants a role where he's going to play. And I think there's probably not a lot of
12 man is kind of ridiculous.
Well, you just got to think about it. Their guards now is going to be Bruce. It's going to be Tim Hardaway and Julian Strawther for sure.
Bruce is like a 4 though, Swiper.
No, he's not. He's a point guard in Denver.
And Julian Strawther wasn't getting run in front of Russ.
Well, Julian Strawther is a shooting guard. So so the backup ball handler is more likely going to be Bruce. So you just can't have Bruce and Russ about like both on the floor at the same time. I disagree just from a functionality standpoint. Russ is a better playmaker, like he has higher ceilings for sure. But Bruce is just a different player altogether.
How do we know that? We haven't seen him in 2 years.
We have seen him. He's played 100 games in 2 years. So
he has not been good.
You talking about Bruce Brown?
Yeah, he played with the Pacers, the Raptors, and the Pelicans.
Bruce Brown hasn't
was fine, but
he has not been good.
But he hasn't played on the situation. He's been the same player for the most part. The issue is
so is Russ.
No,
when he was with the Clippers, when he was with the Clippers.
Yeah,
right?
and
he was with the Lakers.
Inefficient.
When he got with you guys, right?
He was the best he was with Denver, and then since 21. This is not a slander on Russ. I'm just telling you, like the reason why is Bruce is a better athlete and younger.
Today?
Yes, 1,000%. Yes, like 100,000%. Yes, he's a better athlete.
Bruce not that much of an athlete though, so I
really isn't.
I'm again, as somebody who's watched 100+ games of Bruce, I know he's a better athlete. He's much better just in terms of
hold on. All right, let's break it down. Why is he a better athlete?
Because he jumps, he's able to finish, he's able to jump higher, he's able to his lead.
I don't think he jumps high. Bruce don't jump that high.
No, Russ can't dunk like he used to, which is why he doesn't finish like he used.
No, it's because his hands.
Jordan, he can't jump like he used to. His hops aren't the same.
Yeah, but I think you're doing the thing. I think you're comparing Russ to his former self, and not to
that's exactly.
No, I'm comparing him to Bruce Brown.
Bruce can't jump that high either.
I'm talking, and I'm telling you what I'm saying. I know Bruce is a better leaper and jumper than Russell Westbrook at this point in time in his career.
You measured that verticals? That's what you did.
I
ain't gonna lie, Swiper. I seen Bruce.
Russ can't. He just can't.
Swiper. I ain't gonna lie. I seen Bruce in the pickup game, and he looked very mid. Very fucking mid. I don't see none of that.
I can't speak for a pickup game I wasn't a part of.
I didn't see no athleticism that you talking about.
I don't know if he's stronger.
Russ is absolutely faster, especially with the ball in his hands.
I mean, Bruce is still a really good athlete, though. Like,
that's fine. That's fine. The disagreement was more.
I'm saying he's a better athlete still. I've watched Russ not be able to jump, and especially contested, not be able to jump from the same landing zone and finish consistently. And the reason he was missing more layups than you would like him to is because he can't get to the rim off the gather in the same way he used to.
His hands.
And I'm cool if you think that, but I'm saying even just watching him explode off the platform, it's not the same. It's what I'm saying.
When do you see Bruce explode?
Him last year.
But when do you see Bruce
I saw him with the Pelicans. Like, I saw him with the Pacers. I saw him in Denver. Like, he's still a really good jumper, like off a platform. Like, I watched him do it. He is. Like, just objectively, he is.
I'm not saying that he's not. I just don't think he's a better. I don't think he's a better athlete than Russell Westbrook, even at this time in his career. Yes, Russ is not the same athlete he used to be, but he's a better athlete. Like, he's faster.
I'm saying I just disagree with you. Is what I'm saying. So I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Is like when I think when Bruce plays this year, especially like in an open space court and a much better offense, I think he'll look a lot better. I think the explosion stuff will be there. And again, just from like even just like Jordan, a prototypical NBA explosion standpoint, catching alley-oops, being able to gather in the paint and finish, Bruce is in that space to still be able to do that. I'm saying Russ, especially as the year went on, didn't have the ability to do that consistently. That's all I'm saying. And one of the reasons they lost to the Timberwolves is the layup that he missed at the end of the game due to the explosion. Like, that's just a fact.
I just think he just missed a layup. I don't know if it had to do with explosion.
And that part I won't argue.
If you just watch the way he took off, like I'm saying, that's just
right. And it sounds to me, Swiper, like your stance is because he's older. That's it. Because we watch Russell Westbrook. I watched Russell Westbrook. I'm not going to say all of us, but I watched Russell Westbrook throughout the course of this season. He still was getting downhill with the best of them. He still was
finishing tough finishes sometimes.
Right? He still was finishing at the rim. He's not diving through the rim like he did 5-6 years ago. No, he's not doing that. But he's still getting to the rim. He still has that burst off that dribble with his weak hand. He's still in transition, able to come off that 1 foot. Don't get me wrong. He did blow a layup in the playoffs, which cost him the game. But I don't think that's indicative to who Russell Westbrook is.
Well, I'm not just talking about that kind of finishing, though, y'all. Like, I think that's what we're stuck on. Like, it's not just that stuff. His ability to finish consistently in the paint, even just making layups. And to Jordan's point, that part, just basic layups, could be his hand. But I'm saying that I think, having watched him all last season, I think that his athleticism and verticality was cooked.
So you don't think that there's
his shot making stuff?
So you don't think there's any space on that Denver roster for Russell Westbrook at this point?
I mean, if they want to, I just don't think he would be getting guaranteed. He wouldn't guarantee minutes every night. That's what I'm saying. And I don't think he wants that. And and I'm saying, based on what I know from the front office and like what they're trying to do, I don't know if they necessarily want him back like that. But it's not like a negative thing. It's time to move on to a different scenario. So, we'll see though. For sure.
And that's why y'all the fourth best team in the West.
Because of not having Russell Westbrook on it.
I don't even want to get into it.
Who do you think is better than Denver in the Western Conference? OKC and who?
Rockets.
You got the Clippers?
Clippers.
OKC, Rockets, better than Clippers. The Denver Nuggets. No, they not. No, they are not.
Shit.
No, the Clippers are not better than Denver. With what Denver just did in terms of shoring up all the holes. What I want to make sure I'm following you dudes. What was the problem in Denver? The problem in Denver was their rotation. That was their issue. They shored up every problem that they had in this offseason.
Not really.
The energy guy coming off the bench, the shooting with Tim Hardaway Jr. The Clippers are not better than them.
Okay. Hold on. So what problem did the Clippers have?
What did they have? Their stars weren't good enough. Their
backup big was an issue. Creation outside of James Harden in terms of initiation and ball handling.
Right.
That was another major issue. And then just overall depth. They've become one of the deepest teams in the NBA, even more deep than they were last year. Yeah. The backup big is way better than it was last year. Yeah. And Bradley Beal is way better than the guy they were relying on.
I don't get what the hell y'all talking about. That's what I'm saying.
And this is a Clippers team.
I think they're the fourth best team
that lost to the Nuggets in 7 games. And one of the games they lost was a game in which we've never seen a game lost like that ever.
Well,
in terms of the putback, the
dunk. It was tied in game 4. It was tied. It was overtime.
Sure. We don't know what happened in overtime. But point is, we watched the Clippers lose a game in a 7-game series they lost. Sure. We watched them lose a game in a fashion that we've never seen a team lose. Yep. And they never even had a backup point guard last year. Now they have Chris Paul. Yep. Their secondary creator, their secondary scorer, perimeter scorer, tertiary, was Norman Powell. It's now Bradley Beal, who's better ball handler, can run pick and rolls, all of that stuff. He's better. They now have way better defensive pieces in terms of Brook Lopez as a backup big. We understand his flaws in terms of defending in space. But the Clippers are a team that don't rely on their big to defend in space because they had Zoo who was able to play that deep drop. So now you have Brook Lopez who's also comfortable playing a deep drop and is still one of the better rim protectors in the sport. And he stretches the floor. He stretches the floor. The Clippers have addressed any flaws they had last year. They've addressed them too.
So if the argument is Denver addressed any flaw, I don't think any flaw. I think they are better. Again, as I've
every flaw
the issue is some of the issue is they're still going to have issues. I think with Kawhi being able to play against aggressive coverages and passing out of those coverages and not just relying on shooting.
Okay, they didn't get a better player.
I think the John Collins defensive stuff is going to be an issue. I think the James Harden defensive stuff is going to be an issue.
Collins.
And so I've already went through the roster. I think that they're a top 4 team in the West, like objectively. Like I don't even think there's a conversation.
Yeah, but Denver's not. That was the point.
To you. I think again, this Denver thing for me is real silly. Because we just saw
think both teams have addressed that.
We just saw Ron. They did this with their worst team in the last 6 years and still went 7 despite all the flaws they had and bad play at times from their best player. Bad shooting game.
Flaws too?
But the Nuggets were even worse than them. Like I've said this going to play. They're less deep and worse, and they were hurt. Michael Porter Jr. got hurt in game 2. Yes. They didn't have their 4th best player for the rest of the playoffs. Cam Johnson, as I said, through the first 42 games last year, when he was healthy, was averaging 19.5, 6, 3 on 43% from 3 in a 65 true shooting. He was going crazy as a number 1 option with the Nets last year. Prior to them shutting him down, I think he was the best player in the Nets. I mean, I'm saying like Cam Thomas shoots more shots, but he wasn't a better scorer than him just on volume. I think he would like the best scorer they had was Cam Johnson. But we can do this again. We can do this again if you want. I think the issue is that Christian Brown obviously, hopefully, had a much better year last year. Maybe he takes another leap. I think Valanciunas being the backup big they have now, that's the best backup they had. I think he's a starter. I think he's a starter.
I ain't gonna lie, Valanciunas is trash.
I think the other side of this is I'm not done. Having Bruce Brown back on the roster, I think matters.
I'm not as high on Valanciunas.
It's not about being high. He is
hot.
30.
He's better than DJ.
He's a top 30 center in the league. This is not even like a conversation. He clearly is.
The ball he had to replace.
They have not had that.
That doesn't mean nothing.
Because I'm telling you, I'm telling you, if you listen. The issue is they haven't had a player that good backing up him in years. That's the problem since Mason Plumlee. So now you have a backup big if you want to play big. And then on top of that, they added Tim Hardaway Jr., who you can lie if you want, had a good year last year with the Detroit Pistons, was an integral piece in them in the playoffs through both of those rounds. Well, really through the first round versus New York. They should have been up 3-1. Had he gotten that whistle called, they might have been on to the second round after that instead of being a tied series.
Hey,
he had a great season last year. And I'm not slowing down because I'm not done. So you hush. And then on top of that, they have Bruce off the bench, Tim Hardaway off the bench, Cam Johnson, added Valanciunas, and now they add Deron Holt, who was their number 1 overall pick last year, to be their 4. So all through down, they're a deeper team than they were by tenfold.
And by December, you're gonna be complaining about no bench.
No, this is what y'all not gonna do. No way, this is what I've done. This is the thing. Jordan, you can be nasty. Mars can do that nonsense. What I'm going to do is talk about what happens on the floor. If they're not playing the way they should, I'm gonna say it, Jordan. If they do play the way they should, I'm gonna say it, Jordan. I'm not letting nobody else on PC. Not Ox, he cool. Ron, he gonna do it. Mars, Jordan. It don't matter. I'm gonna talk about what happens on a game-to-game basis. If they don't play well, I'm gonna say it. If they play well, I'm going to say it. So you can get in my mind, make a whole swipe a segment again like you love to do this summer. Do it again. Make more content off my name. I get it. I'm going to talk about the team. The issue is they are objectively way better than they were last year. And they had nobody arguing that they had 3 healthy players going into Game 7 last year. They had 3 healthy players going into Game 7 last year, and they still went to 7 in the series. And then they didn't have a healthy starting 5. And still went to 7 in that series.
This is the shit that I'm talking about, Spiteful, when it comes to Ron. Okay, Ron, you just said, Ron, you just told us.
They're my favorite. Hey, they're my favorite coming out in the NBA next year. They're my favorite. That's it.
Ron, you just told us that the Clippers are better. You just told us that they got better. You just told us that they're a top 4 seed. They finished 4th last year. With them finishing 4th last year, Swiper just ran down how much better they've gotten.
They didn't get that much better though, Chill. He ran down a bunch of fluff. He fluffed that. He fluffed.
No, that's not
fluff. Jordan. Chill, this is the stuff that Mars be talking about. When he be cleaning your clock. It'd be stuff like this. They finished 4th last year, and they got better, right? Who finished 2nd last year?
Houston. The Rockets.
Did they get better?
Yep.
Who finished 5th last year and took them to 7? Did they get better?
Way better.
They didn't get better than the
Yes, they did. Chill. Valanciunas is ass. He sucks. I don't know if you didn't see. Did you see Valanciunas with the Kings?
In Game 7. Embarrass them. Jordan, you love to talk about moments. They embarrassed them in Game 7.
What does that got to do with Valanciunas sucking? He sucked. What does that got to do with that?
Ron, look at you with your stink face looking like that. They got embarrassed on the floor versus a worse team. What
does this have to do with the additions of the Denver Nuggets? Tim Hardaway is good. Cam Johnson is good.
Look, if Jordan and Ron want to stand in a casual corner and say they barely got better and it's a bunch of fluff, I'm good with that.
No, they didn't get better than the Clippers.
They clearly are better.
No, they did not.
They're my favorite.
There's nobody in their right mind will tell you that Valanciunas, Tim Hardaway Jr., Cam Johnson is a better addition to John Collins, Chris Paul, Bradley Beal. Brook Lopez. There's no way you finna tell me that.
Who Brook Lopez, who's also long in the tooth.
He better than Valanciunas. Wait a
minute. Who's the best player you just named there? Do you think John Collins better than Cam Johnson?
I don't think he's better than Cam Johnson, but they're not that far apart.
You think he's better than DeAndre Ayton? So that means that if you think he's better than
DeAndre Ayton, not on neither one of them teams.
Number Brook Lopez.
But it's not like y'all just added Cam Johnson. Y'all traded him for.
Y'all traded. Yeah, y'all swapped
for a better player.
It's gonna be the same thing.
If Cam Johnson's better than MPJ, I don't think the gap is significant.
That's what I said. That's the same thing I said.
Just to be clear here, if you would love to tap into the differences between the two players, I'll plug. You can go to Lockdown Nuggets. I did a whole episode on this and the difference, the playmaking gap, the defensive gap, the rim protection, the perimeter defense. All of it is Cam Johnson. The off the ball stuff, the DHO stuff. I went through play. No, but that's fine. But Ox. So you're telling me.
You didn't think he was better than Michael Porter Jr.
So wait a minute. You're telling me that once I do the work, I'm not allowed to actually talk about the difference between the two players.
You knew
and the fact of the matter is, 100%. I think Michael Porter Jr. is a more talented player than Cam Johnson. But we're talking about like actual NBA skill sets. Porter cannot create. Porter cannot be a tertiary dribbler. Porter is objectively not a better defender. Like, there are things that Cam adds to the roster that it's going to mitigate. They're going to be a worse rebounding team.
Cam is not going to add tertiary dribbling to the Nuggets offense. I'm going to just tell you that right now. No, he's not.
You can go to 3 different places.
That's why. It's not going to be his role.
Everybody in the chat. You can go to 3 different places if you want clips. Locked On Nuggets and DNVR and Mile High Sports all have already done the clip work and the film work on what Cam Johnson has done as a ball handler.
He's not going to do it for the Nuggets, though. He's not going to do it for the Nuggets.
To the roster.
Why wouldn't he do that?
It doesn't make any sense, Jordan.
Why? What you mean it don't? Because it's called roster construction. They're not getting Cam to be a tertiary. They're not getting Cam to be a tertiary ball handler. Why the fuck do I need Cam to do that when I got you just named? Bro, you just named. Stop because I'm about to call you out on your basketball now. I'm about to call you out on your basketball now.
What did Bruce Brown do when he was on the floor with Jokic and Murray?
You just named the backup guard, Bruce Brown. Then you still got Joker. Then you still got Jamal Murray. Where the fuck is the ball?
Very simple. Very simple. Again,
where's Cam in that?
Again, slow down.
So now he's a fourth ball handler.
When you're running through stuff, is when you don't know what you're talking about. So
no, you don't know what you're talking about. You just shot yourself in the foot.
Play on the court last year together. Did those 3 play on the court last year together?
What the fuck? They not doing anything.
So yes, they did. Was Russell Westbrook allowed to do his thing with Murray and Jokic on the floor last year? Yes or no?
So he was the third. So yes, he was the third.
Okay. So will Cam Johnson with Aaron Gordon, with Jamal?
No, you just said Bruce Brown would be the. You just said Bruce Brown would be
off the bench. I'm saying, why would he not be able to utilize his skill set next to Jokic and Murray?
Because that's not really his. First of all, that's not really his skill set.
What is really? What is really when I watched him do it? What do you mean really when I've seen him do it?
It's not being a primary ball handler. That's not
his a primary ball handler. Who used that word?
So he's not going to be a tertiary ball handler either. You just named me 3 guards. That's going to be the tertiary ball handler. You just named me 3 or 4 of them. Where does Cam Johnson fit in that?
Okay, so when Cam Johnson is on the floor, what exactly is going to be his role? Is he going to be a shooter? Is that what he's going to be? He's going to be a spot-up shooter? Is he just going to play in transition?
More than likely, he's probably going to get him coming downhill, though. He's not going to create shit, though.
Because the game's going to slow down. And when the game's
so they're going to let Cam Johnson create. Slow it down, let Cam Johnson create. That's what you're going to see.
Why can't he do that within that offense?
Why would he? When you got Joker? Jamal Murray, you just said
just
Bruce
naming
Brown
names.
and
Why
Aaron
would he
Gordon. Why
not-
do we need Cam Johnson
Why
to do that?
would he not do it though?
Same reason why.
Why would you not use Jamal Murray as an off-ball player?
With that. Swiper,
Because you're not listening. You just said there was 3 ball handlers, and now Cam Johnson is in there.
Jordan, you got your own self in a bind. Why would he not
No,
have
I
the ball?
don't, Swiper. I'm going off of what you said. I'm going off exactly what you said. You said Bruce Brown will replace. You said this is why Russell Westbrook can't get on the team because Bruce Brown will be the backup.
But why would he not be a tertiary ball handler?
Swiper, go through the ball handlers. That's all you got to do. Go through the ball handlers.
I already did. But why would you not be a tertiary
Jamal
ball handler?
Murray, Bruce Brown.
But why would Cam Johnson not have the ball in a sense?
When would he do it?
With Jokic and Murray on the court.
Why?
Why would 2 of the best off-ball players in the league?
Why would he do it?
Why would 2 of the best off-ball players in the league not be off the ball? What sense does that make? Why would you do that?
Does that not make sense, Swiper? Everything that you just
said. Jordan, you're just talking.
Right.
You're just putting in your mouth.
Jordan is the same guy who said to us about that Indiana Pacers team that they got 4 or 5 guys who are go-get-it guys. So what does that have to do with this? It has everything to do with it because you're telling us that if Cam Johnson, who is also a go-get-it guy, well, you can't do that because you're playing with Joker, right? Because you're playing with Jamal Murray. But those 4 or 5 guys in Indiana, you got 4 or 5 go-get-it guys. You playing with chill, slow down, because you want to slow down because you want to talk and yell, but that shit ain't making no sense. They don't have a fucking Jamal Murray or a Joker in goddamn Indiana. They don't have that shit.
Russell Westbrook had the ball a lot when both of them were on the floor, though. Why would you limit a player's ability to do something because you have those 2 players on the floor?
Number one, that is not Cam's primary skill set. That's number one.
Both of those players on the floor. Why would you take the ball out of his hands if he can run the offense too? For what?
Because those are better guys at doing it. Jamal Murray and Jokic are better, and Bruce Brown are better at doing it.
But why would you not utilize somebody's ability?
Because I'm going to utilize his best ability, which is to spot up and shoot and play off ball.
But why would you not utilize somebody's additional ability as a tertiary ball handler to open up the floor for elite off-ball players in Jokic and Jamal Murray?
Because he's not going to open up shit. That's why. Because if he's the tertiary ball handler, Cam Johnson not opening up shit. I don't have to help. I don't have to do nothing but go straight up. What the fuck is he going to open up?
Wait. Time out.
What is he opening up?
You don't have to help on Cam Johnson?
You would be a motherfucking fool to help off of Cam Johnson and help off of Jamal Murray and Jokic.
You just told us he's a shooter.
What are you talking about? I'm saying with Cam on the ball, with Cam guarding the ball, I can guard him straight up. I don't need no help. I'm going to guard him straight up. And if he score, he scored. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm going to guard him straight up. Why do I need to? So Cam Johnson's going to collapse the defense and kick out to Jamal Murray and Jokic. Is that what the fuck y'all telling me?
Yes.
No, hold on. What?
Mind, man. Come on, man.
Hold on. Why would they be running straight ISOs with him?
You are so goddamn
y'all. Jordan, how about this? Just talk to me and you settle down. Why would you just run isolations with Cam Johnson? Why would you not run pick and roll with Cam Johnson? Why would you not run down screens for Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon off the ball with Cam Johnson? Okay. Why would you not? Why would you not run a horn set with Cam Johnson? Matter of fact, since I know what I'm talking about, does Aaron Gordon not have the ball? Jamal Murray and Jokic are off the ball. Do they not run a horn set with him at the very top of the screen and then run a
Hold on, with who?
And he comes up and gets the ball. Can Cam Johnson not allow Jokic to run a pick and roll here and then have a down screen with Jamal?
Stop talking and yapping. Answer the question. When they ran those sets, who was the primary ball handler? When they ran those sets, who was the ball handler?
Jordan, this is the problem with you. When you lose,
ain't no problem with me. This is the problem with your basketball knowledge. It's not that great. When they ran that shit with Jokic and Jamal Murray, who was the ball handler?
So a tertiary ball handler. I'm answering the question.
There we go.
Just slow down.
That's my point.
Tertiary ball handler. Literally, what this means for the definition for the audience is an additional ball handler who is not the primary ball handler, not even necessarily a secondary ball handler that has the ball that helps to initiate the offense. My whole prognosis going into this, but that Cam Johnson will be able to operate as a tertiary ball handler in the Denver Nuggets offense. Jordan, because he wants to hear what he wants to hear, her primary or secondary, when I didn't say any of those things.
No, I didn't say that either.
Tertiary means third.
Have the ball
I didn't say that either. I just pushed back on your. I just pushed back on you being very disingenuous because you said Russell Westbrook can't be on this team as that because of Bruce Brown.
Because
and then
that's
you
the
brought up Cam
point
Johnson.
guard.
So now I'm
backup point guard. Yes, that is the role Russell Westbrook had that Bruce Brown now has. That's what I said.
So
that's what I
where
said.
the fuck is Cam Johnson in
I
this?
just said it for you. Jordan, if you can't listen, I literally just broke it down for you exactly how they run their offense. There's no
broke it down wrong because number one, you just said
wrong.
You just said yes, you did because you just said they ran. Hold on, because you like this. What you like to do when you get put in a box and you get.
There's no box. I'm going like to do actual offense.
It's like to do when you like to get cooked. You like to run past shit so nobody hears. But I understand your Jedi mind tricks. I know your Jedi mind tricks.
There's no Jedi mind trick. I just said a horn set. That's what I said.
Okay. I'm glad you brought the horn set up. Let's bring back the horn set. When they run that horn set, who was the ball handler?
Aaron Gordon.
Okay.
Yes.
Who else?
What do you mean? Who else? They can. Horn says 3 people, so it can be anyone.
No, I'm talking about who the down screen when they ran the down screen.
And it could be Aaron Gordon setting a down screen for
Aaron Gordon. No, I didn't. I'm talking about the passer. I'm talking about the passer.
Literally, Aaron
I'm
Gordon.
talking about the passer.
Throw it to Jokic. You go set a down screen for Jamal, and either you switch or you come off the screen, and then you hand the ball from Jokic to Jamal Murray. That's what I'm talking about.
So you're gonna replace Jokic with Cam Johnson?
Replace Cam Johnson with Aaron Gordon just in that set easy, and then on top of that,
what does that have to do with him? Okay. Now you're all over the place because what they got to do with being a ball handler?
All over the place.
What does that have to do with being a ball handler if he's setting a down screen? So
what do you mean being a ball handler?
Johnson is setting a ball screen. What does that have to do with him being a ball handler?
A tertiary ball handler initiates the offense. I said he can initiate the offense. That's what I said.
And
so are you not initiating the offense from the top of the key?
Okay, I guess.
You just yapping. You spent 10 minutes.
You just don't make no sense. And I called you out on your.
I literally told you what the offense run,
and it don't work.
There's no weak logic. So
it is weak.
Hold on. If I gave you verbatim, literally could not be more precise on what's going to happen at the top of the offense. And you still don't understand, Jordan. That's a comprehension issue. I can't fix that for you. There's nothing I can do to help you understand that. Chill.
I understand what you're trying to say. I understand what you're trying to say. You're not saying shit, though. That's the problem. You're not saying nothing that makes sense.
Whichever number sits in your head, not first, not second, tertiary, 3, trinity. Whatever number you want to use, it means 3. 3.
I know what it means. You don't know what the fuck it means. You don't know that much basketball. That's why you keep talking about tertiary ball handler. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. That's why I brought up the first 3 ball handlers you said earlier why Russell Westbrook couldn't be on the team. And then now we got a 4th one. We got a 4th one knocking at the fucking door. And it's Cam Johnson all of a fucking sudden. Now. And then you talking about Cam Johnson can run this pick and roll shit that you never fucking seen him do. You never seen Cam run a pick and roll. This shit. You never seen him sit at the top of the key and say, hey, you go over there.
Again, Jordan,
set this down screen.
You can literally go to Shot Creator right now and look at pick and roll.
You just making shit up because he's on your team now. You brought up some bullshit like we got Deron Holmes. Don't nobody give a fuck about Deron Holmes. You brought up Jonas Valanciunas, who you call ass, and now he's on the Denver Nuggets, and now he got to revamp his career. Cut the shit. Cut the bullshit, Swiper. Cut the bullshit.
Jordan, when did I call him that? When did I call you on his ass?
Swiper. You was calling Valanciunas ass with the Kings all year. Now all of a sudden he on the Denver Nuggets. Now he good as a motherfucker.
When did I do that?
This is the best big Jokic have. He gonna be off the by December. Striper gonna be talking shit. Oh man, front office, front this, front that.
Do you know who else said that? Here. David Adelman also said that. They've already talked about this. He's clearly the best backup big they had. Jordan, you're just screaming and yelling things I never even said. I never talked about Jonas Valanciunas that way. I already explained what a tertiary ball handler means. If you don't understand,
I know what a tertiary ball handler is. I just use your logic, and you have yet to put Cam Johnson in a tertiary situation. You never put him in a tertiary situation. What do you mean I never put him in a tertiary situation? That's what I've been asking you to do. And then when I asked you to do, you brought up a horn set.
Jordan, you brought up the only fucking set you know.
So you brought up a horn set, and you said Cam Johnson gonna be the downstream. What the fuck I do with tertiary ball handler?
Jordan, you brought up an isolation drive kick out for Cam Johnson. When did I bring
you brought up a horn set and said he gonna be the down screener. Why the fuck does that have to do with a tertiary ball handler?
Johnson on a drive. You literally said that. You brought that up. You said that. You said that. That's you. You set that standard. I never brought up isolation. Never said that one time.
You brought up tertiary ball handler. I asked you to put him in that role, and you said a horn set.
Jordan,
and then I said, who's going to be the passer? And you said Aaron Gordon. Then I said, what the fuck Cam Johnson going to do?
If you're initiating the
what
offense.
the fuck they got to do with a tertiary ball handler?
Jordan, if you're initiating the offense, if you're initiating the offense as a ball handler, that is your responsibility. You don't have to do it as much as Jamal Murray or Jokic.
Okay. Fellas, I want to move the conversation forward because the conversation started with essentially which team got better and who's better in the West. So, chat, I had to bring up some real guys with basketball knowledge to answer this very tough question that we can't seem to get to the bottom of. Joel, pick a side. ZZ, from the logo. I need you guys to tell me which one of these teams got better and who is in fact better. Joel, let's start with you, my man.
I feel like I'm going to regret this answer, but I'm going with the Los Angeles Clippers. I just feel like they added everything they needed. In the playoff series against Denver, their line of versatility was thin. They were playing Ben Simmons at the 5, and now added in John Collins, another body, added in Brook Lopez for more versatility and more space. And then Bradley Beal, I think, is a better player than Norman Powell, and you get him on a discount because he decided to sign there. I just think they have so much depth. The main concern with them is going to be about health. But if this team stays healthy, it is possibly the deepest team in the West besides OKC. And I can see them making a serious playoff run if they stay healthy. But that's been the case for them for the last couple of years.
ZZ, who you got? And then also, who do you, after you answer who's better, let us know who you think their tertiary ball handler is too.
Nigga, no. I won't say I also have the Clippers, but kind of for a different reason. I think that the Clippers can win a lot of regular season games next year for sure. But I'm also kind of done with these niggas. Like, I don't really, I'm tired of like
kinda. Why are you kinda? ZZ, are you in or you out? Which one is it, brother?
Hell no, I'm not in. I'm completely out. The door is shut, and I'm just staring out the window like with a peace sign. I don't care. They're old as hell. They probably have the oldest starting lineup in the league potentially. And I don't even know what that average age is. 34 and a half, nigga. That's, I don't know. I love Chris Paul. Don't get me wrong. They have players on the team that I genuinely root for besides Bradley Beal now. I just look at him as a bag getter and not as much of a scorer anymore. He's just going to get the bag regardless. But at the same time, their ceiling is as far as Kawhi can take them, meaning how many games is Kawhi going to play? And if he hits that, imaginary brick wall that he always runs into, especially around playoff time for some reason, then they're cooked. Whereas the Nuggets, I mean, yeah, they made some great adjustments. They moved on from Michael Porter Jr., something that we were waiting on for probably a couple of years now. And you can make an argument that they had a solid upgrade from that spot. Besides the fact that, of course, their ceiling is how many games Nikola Jokic is going to play, which is probably going to be over 75. So I can bank on that. I can bank on them also being a solid 4 seed, potentially, whatever. But with the Clippers, whatever they do in the regular season can be great. It really can. But come postseason time, they're going to be dependent on Kawhi's knees, Chris Paul's hamstring, Bradley Beal's back, nigga. It's like, come on now. So yeah,
Joe, your whole rendition, it sounds like, remember that kid on TikTok? Tomorrow. Every time I talk to you, you keep telling me tomorrow. It sounds like the same thing. Tomorrow, we're gonna do it tomorrow. This year, we got the same thing over and over again with this Clipper team. And then you on top of that, we get Chris Paul, who, by the way, ZZ, in February, he'll be 41. I want to make sure that we're clear on that. He's turning 41 years old.
They also said he's not going to play every night. So
on top of that,
obviously he's 41.
Yeah, like he ain't LeBron, he ain't Braun 41. He's almost Vince Carter 41.
What the fuck?
So yeah, we'll see what that look like.
I got on that Clipper train last year. I was violently pushed on it, and it crashed, and I was killed. And I think you're getting me on that Clipper train again.
You need to stop blaming other people for you getting on that train.
I ain't want nothing to do with that. I didn't want nothing to do with it.
No one forced you on that train.
The Clippers. Every time I turn around, the Clippers. No, I don't want nothing to do with the Clippers. The Clippers. Fine, I'm jumping off the train, getting pushed back on the train. They win 6-7 games in a row. The Clippers. I know who these dudes are. I know who they are. No matter what you try to sell me about them, I know who they are. And then I get dragged on this train, and here we are again.
Yep.
Here we
You
are.
didn't get dragged on the train. You stepped on the train.
No, I was violently pushed
Now,
on the
I
train.
vividly remember the
I
conversations.
was
He was having the conversations, and then you
train.
just decided you had enough. Oh, the Clippers winning the NBA championship. That's what happened.
Actually,
No one made you say it. I remember the conversation. We was arguing about the Clippers and their chances, and you was disagreeing. You was very passionately disagreeing with the Clippers' chances. Me and Ox were talking about how the Clippers have a chance, what Kawhi was looking like, blah, blah, blah. And then you just decided you had enough of us saying the Clippers had a chance. And you said, okay, so the Clippers are going to win the NBA championship. No one told you to say that. You decided to say it. So stop blaming us for you deciding to just jump on the train.
Stay right there,
No one forced you to say that.
I'm listening to you.
It was Norman Powell. It was Norman Powell that convinced me.
Consistently telling me about the Clippers this, the Clippers that. That's the violently pushed on the train.
No, that's us giving our opinion. That's us giving our opinion. That's not us saying that you should change your mind. No one said you need to believe the Clippers are going to win a championship. And the crazy thing is, me and Oxy didn't even say the Clippers were going to win the championship, because when you said it, oh, the Clippers are going to win the championship, I said, hey, none of us said that. None of us said that. You by yourself. No one said that. And you was like, no, the Clippers going to win the championship. If everything you telling me is true about the Clippers, they're going to win the championship. That's what you said. That's what happened. We did not push you on that train. You decided. You voluntarily stepped onto that train and then blamed us. That's what happened.
That's not true, because what happened.
I'm gonna find the segment. I'm gonna find
it. This is what you completely leave out. If you consistently keep talking about this team and what they are, and even though I know what they're not. Because you did the same thing when it came to this Houston Rockets team. I vividly remember you making it clear to us. You did the same thing with us with this Houston Rockets team when I vividly remember you saying Jalen Green is off the table in terms of trades. You don't want nothing to do with that. Anybody who calls and asks for Jalen Green, you want nothing to do with it. Yes, you 100%.
When I got up here and started saying that, he started saying, I'll accept it.
Mars, we got, just like you got me on tape, we got you on tape saying the same thing, that you are not interested in moving off of. You are not interested in moving off of Jalen Green. In fact, I believe the words were Tari, Jabari, Jalen Green. No, I'm not interested in any trade talks.
Chill, I can't let you.
It doesn't sound like what I said, considering Amen Thompson's name was not mentioned.
Because you saw what you saw, and it was in front of you consistently. You dudes come up here, this dude up top right here, and you constantly talking to me about Kawhi Leonard this, James Harden that, Kawhi Leonard this, the Clippers that, the Clippers this. I don't want nothing to do with the Clippers.
All right, let me
200 times. I gotta hear it 300 times. Finally pushed onto the train because I don't want to get on this train, and I said that I didn't want to get on this train more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times.
Y'all did have the gun to the back of Chill's head, like get on this train.
Hold on. Wait a second. Hold on. Just relax. First of all, I listened to Chill Cap for too long, and then when you involve me, then now I got the right to speak on this one. Chill. If you don't want to get on the train, get out. Let me out, though. It's easy. Let me out, though. I'll pull over. But still, it wasn't me and Morris. I remember vividly. It was Norman Powell. It was Norman Powell that put you on the train, Chill. You were so impressed by Norman Powell. You even said that he was a better defender. No, you said that he was a big part of how come the Clippers defense was
the most improved players. I had him winning the most.
I remember when when Norman Powell even convinced you that he was a great defender. That was when you decided, you know what, I'm gonna get on this train.
That's not when I decided that.
With Ox and Morris. Even though Morris didn't have the Clippers winning the championship, I had the Clippers getting to the Western Conference Finals. So wait. You're saying that Norman Powell wasn't the convincer. It was me and Mars that convinced you.
It's you two guys consistently. The Clippers this, the Clippers that, the Clippers this, the Clippers that. Always. So
did we say the Clippers were winning the championship, or was you the only one who said that?
I said that.
Did we force you to say that?
You forced me on the train of the Clippers, though. You 100% did that.
All right, fellas. Hey, this train is going in a.
Go ahead, Ron.
ZZ, what up? Joel, what up?
I will admit, Mars.
I
added the championship thing. I'm not gonna argue that point. I 100% added the championship.
Chill. What were you like, seduced, nigga? Like what happened?
No, I was pushed on the train. I was in the train station. I was waiting on another train.
ZZ.
I'm in the train station. I'm waiting on another train.
I hope someone finds the segment. I hope someone finds the segment that Chill's alluding to, because I can assure you, Me or Ox did not tell Chill to start believing the Clippers were going to win a championship. He used it. He used his own free will to make that statement. And the moment he made that statement, me and Ox both said, "We ain't tell you to say that." Like we both said it.
All right, fellas, we about to get into these crunch time chats. Salute to everybody that's in here. Like the video. If you are on Twitter, come over to YouTube and subscribe and follow us on Twitter as well. After we get to these crunch time chats, I want to hear everybody's top 4 teams that they got in the West. So we'll get into that in a second. You guys start thinking about that. But in the meantime, Hunter TV said, when deciding between better players all time, do you guys value absolute peak or level of play over a stretch of years?
More.
I feel like at sometimes people just value whatever they want to fucking value when it comes down to that. Like it could be that, and then for another person, it won't be that. It's just, whatever you want to value.
Yeah, it's not an exact science. I want to say I value the longevity more, but like it's within reason. Like it can't just be player A plays 17 years, player B plays 6 years, player B is the best player in the world for 6 years, player A is just solid for 17. He's better. Like it can't be that. But like if you guys are relatively close, peak for peak or prime for prime, and then someone else has an extra 4 or 5 years, I'm gonna prefer the 4 or 5 years extra. But if like there's a major gap, it's probably not going to be made up for with longevity unless it's like Bill Walton. Like if you're a Bill Walton prime, then yeah, longevity can overcome that quite easily. But it's not an exact science. I couldn't tell you I value peak 46% and longevity 54%. Like I couldn't tell you that. I don't know. Vibes.
JB Waldo said top 5 rappers. Future, Drake, Wayne, Hove, Ye. YB will be top 5 when it's all said and done. No, Biggie and Pac are not top 5 rappers ever. Be serious. Lamar is also QB1.
Damn, he all over the place, but ain't no way in hell young boy. Ain't no way in hell young boy gonna be a top 5 rapper. That shit is Skip Bayless every time I cut it on. I got 3 songs and the rest of them. Skip. This man makes 6 albums and 3 songs chart. There ain't no way he gonna be top 5. Get out your damn. You out your damn.
Shout out YB. Swiper, you agree that Lamar's QB1? Joe, do you agree that Lamar's QB1? I see how y'all did over there.
I mean, he was the best quarterback that played last year, but I mean, it's still Mahomes for stuff he did 3 years ago.
And who's the best receiver in the league, Joe?
Justin Jefferson.
So we just don't respect the triple crown. I see triple anything just gets disrespected in the world. Triple doubles, triple crowns, tertiary. Let's see everything.
All
right. Next up, Finn275 said, I don't think peak Bird is high enough for the longevity of KD. Not to close that gap and actually pass him to me. And I think KD's peak is underrated.
I think KD's peak is probably getting underrated at this point.
But over Larry Bird?
Yeah.
I don't think KD peaked higher than Larry Bird. But I think there is a major longevity gap in my opinion.
Yeah, and Bird, the longevity gap is there, but I just still don't think KD career is better than Larry Bird's.
I think I don't think that his career is better. I do think that his peak is underrated because oftentimes I go back and I'm like, yo, he had 3 straight scoring titles starting at the age of 21 and finished with 4 before the age of 26. And we just like, he's thrown around in top 3 scorer conversations. Is it him? Is it Jordan? Is it Kobe? Is it LeBron? Is it Kareem? Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, this nigga had 4 scoring titles before his prime. 3 straight, starting at 21. Just crazy. It's wild. Very, very interesting.
How much do you guys value a scoring title in regards to an all-time scoring list?
I value it a lot.
I don't particularly care.
I do.
Say it one more time.
How much do you value a scoring title in regards to an all-time scoring list?
It depends on how many you have for me, for real. Because like I look at the bar in a way which is like Jordan with 10 And then if you're able to do it multiple times, it's like kind of a sign that you're really one of them ones. Like a Bradley Beal scoring title doesn't hold as much weight to me, but Carmelo having one is very interesting. And he's still, but because it still doesn't hold that much weight because he's still a top 10, finishes a top 10 scorer all time. So like there's ways around it, but if you've won multiple, it's like, yo, you got to pay attention to that. So
because LeBron James has one scoring title, so comparatively versus his other peers, even though he ranks number one all time on the scoring list, he just has one scoring title.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
So how high do you put him on an all-time scorers list?
I'd still put him top 5 based on the fact that he did do something that hadn't been done with the 27, 5, and 7 or whatever for as long as he's done it for. So like that consistency puts him there for me on top of obviously him being the number one scorer ever. But that consistency is where you look at the longevity more than the peak. In some instances, I think that it's valuable for certain players. LeBron's probably number one on that list just for that fact that he only has one scoring title. But yeah.
I don't really let it doesn't have too much weight for me because honestly, I don't really know who got all the scoring titles. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really pay much attention to who was the scoring championship year by year. I don't really because I don't really want it to have an effect on my ranking like that. You know, so
Jordan.
It is impressive though that LeBron got one and he's the number one scorer of all time. Yep. I mean, what could you possibly say? I mean, you could argue that, and I guess somebody will argue, well, he's played 21 years. You could argue that, but at the same time, shit.
Well, I mean, he was consistently finishing top 5, top 3.
Yeah, top 2, top 3
every year.
But it's like
we had a 4-year stretch, Ron, where in those 4 years he finished second and third in scoring by 0.8 points. That's how he missed out on the scoring championship.
Yeah, so I guess it makes sense, but damn.
Also, like LeBron played it in a league full of good ass scorers. He went from Kobe to
Carmelo.
KD, Carmelo, Steph.
Hard.
You know, like
Shaq was in the league.
Like he went through. I don't think Shaq ever led the league when Braun was there though. But I mean, Shaq was still there. Iverson grabbed a couple.
Iverson wasn't doing it while Braun was still there.
Yeah, he did in 2006. Allen Iverson got.
Shit, I forgot about. I forgot. Well, I be forgetting about AI in 06. Boy, I ain't gonna lie. I be forgetting about AI in 06.
It was him and Bryant. Bryant was at 35, and Iverson was at what 33 that year, something like that.
Something like that.
Yep.
So, 30s.
Yeah.
I mean, but Bron, I think Bron's longevity trumps everybody's everything.
Yeah,
I mean that's fair.
I'm saying because he does everything. He's a complete basketball player. His defense is definitely taking a couple steps back, but just throughout his career, he's done everything at a high level. Like to your point, he only has one scoring title, but he's consistently in that top. You know what I'm saying? With assists, he's consistently getting a lot of assists. You know what I mean? So he's done everything at a high level for 20-some years. So that level of longevity when you've been doing it at that high, that trumps everything anybody does.
To answer your question though, Joe, I mean, I don't think that I do value you winning, you being at the top of the list in terms of a scoring champion. But if you play at that level for a lot of years, I mean, I think you winning a scoring title validates you. But if you playing at that level for all of those years, I feel like it still puts you in that conversation. We just had a conversation about Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan never won Defensive Player of the Year, but he was in that conversation every year as the best defensive player in the game, right? Same logic when it came to Shaq. I mean, Shaq never led the league in rebounding 1 year, but with him being one of the all-time best rebounders, he was in that conversation every year. So, I mean, I do value you winning the scoring championship because it does hold a lot of weight. But if you're playing at that level, I think that means more to me than you actually winning it.
That's valid.
I think so.
Gregory Kirkland said, how good does your offense have to be for you not to care about defense? I feel like the value of two-way players needs to be acknowledged a little bit more.
What NBA player do you think doesn't care about playing defense? Like just doesn't care. I don't think that's true either. I think Luka definitely cares about playing defense.
Then where's the effort then?
Luka has Luka's.
Then where's the effort then?
Luka has shown effort in multiple playoff runs.
I don't think it was saying like the player not caring about defense. I think it was saying how good does an offensive player have to be for you not to really.
I mean, I asked this question because Luka's played defense in multiple seasons, multiple series.
Yeah.
He's had good defensive seasons, like stretches in seasons before. Like he plays defense. Trae Young cares. He's just tiny. Like every player that fits this they all care about it. It's just degrees to how good they are. I don't know. I personally don't know of any player that just doesn't care about playing defense in the NBA.
Harden
might not be good at it.
Capping for Luka's defense is crazy.
I don't think that.
It's not.
I don't think
more points either.
I don't
You said
think
what?
you can not care about defense. I think that's stupid.
I don't think anyone just doesn't care about defense.
No, I'm talking about when we're evaluating players. I don't think there's any player who's so good on offense that you just don't care about defense. It's just whether or not they're good enough to overcome it compared to other players.
Yes.
But not caring about it. No, you can't be like, oh, well, they're just so good on offense. Their defense doesn't matter. No, their defense always matters. It's just they might be so good on offense that they're still better than someone who is a good defender. That's possible. But it always matters. Every conversation, like Rudy Gobert's not so good on defense. His offense doesn't matter. Ben Wallace wasn't so good on defense. His offense didn't matter. It still matters that Ben Wallace was a terrible offensive player. It matters that Magic Johnson wasn't a good defender. It matters that Steph Curry wasn't a very good defender. It matters that Luka Doncic is not a good defender. It matters that Jokic is not a very good defender. That matters. They just might be able to overcome it in comparison to whatever two-way player you want to name. But it matters. It always matters.
I think the cutoff point is Trae Young. I think that's the cutoff point to where his offense is so great that I can look to the side a little bit on the defense. I think with Brunson and the Lukas of the world, you don't, I guess their offense is so elite and their engines, so you can live with it. But I think the cutoff point is like Trae Young, that tier of player. It's like if you're anything below that offensively, then I think you're actively a liability.
But you're so good offensively that sometimes we disregard. I sometimes may disregard you defensively because we got guys around you to protect you that I forget about you defensively and you're so good offensively that goes by the wayside. I know that you're not going to defend. There were stretches where I saw Kyrie Irving, like he wouldn't give much effort on the defensive end, but he was so good getting downhill. He was so good one-on-one that I completely forgot about him not defending. It was just same thing with Luka. Just get back to the ball.
You don't think Kyrie give effort on defensive end?
There was a stretch when I questioned it. I'm not saying that he never does, but there was a stretch when I questioned Kyrie Irving's effort on defense when he was in Brooklyn.
I think when I did that. Darius Garland is an example of this because like Trae Young, he was able to lead a team to the Eastern Conference Finals. So you were able to see that even with his liabilities on defense, he was able to get far in the playoffs. But Garland, he's been unhealthy in the playoffs thus far, outside of one playoff series that we haven't gone to see it. But we do know right now that he is a major defensive liability. And I feel like that is still to be determined if he's going to be a liability for the Cavaliers because of that. But we haven't seen him healthy in the playoffs to fully examine how much his offense can help them to where they are just not making him expendable because of how bad his defense is going to be in a long playoff run.
All right, fellas. Obviously, last night was Throwback Thursday. In case you missed it, don't even worry about it because we'll be back next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Playback to watch. Well, you'll just have to pull up to see what we're going to watch, but just know it's going to be a throwback game. Also, if you have missed the press box, once again, don't even sweat it. Now, you can go back and watch last Wednesday's episode, or you could just mark your calendars for Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern time to watch the best football show out there. Oh, and last but not least, WNBA hoops tonight. Y'all want to watch some dub hoops?
Two girls.
We got y'all. We got the cream of the crop, the best in the game. Some people will argue the best basketball player in the world. Asia Wilson versus the Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, Nafisa Collier. Y'all pull up 7:30 Eastern tonight. It's going down on Playback.
MVP. Don't do that. It's MVP. Don't do that. We own that. Well, hey, man, we live and active tonight. It's a matchup right here, but it's a matchup for the ages right here.
All right, y'all. I got a couple more super chats I do want to read, and then I need everybody's top 4 teams in the West. Willie Bobcat said, just so everyone knows, Manning gave his team the lead 3 times with a minute to go in the playoffs, and his team still found a way to lose.
Yeah, I mean, Colts defense sold a lot. I mean, that's also another story. Definitely for sure. Definitely sold a lot. They should have beat the Steelers too. No, the Colts. The Broncos defense was elite basically his whole time there, except for 2013, 2014 it was top 5, 2015 it was the best maybe we've seen it since 2000. Then 2016 he retired. So
the best we've seen
2012
since 2000.
Yeah, I would make an argument that Broncos defense, Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Malik Jackson, Derek Wolfe, Danny Trevathan, Brandon that year in middle linebacker. Remember they had Akeem was first team, Chris Harris was first team. Then they had TJ Ward and they had Darian Stewart. And they were a nightmare. Bradley Roby was third.
The Legion of Boom just didn't.
The Broncos pass rush was better. Yeah, the Broncos pass rush was better.
Seattle defense was crazy.
I know. I'm saying the Broncos had a better pass rush. They don't have Ware and Miller. It's like I think that's where the difference is. Yeah, I think that's where the difference is.
I'm going to my grave with that. The Legion of Doom. The Legion of Boom. Every last one of them.
Oh yeah, that Kaepernick.
As a 49er fan, every time we went up there and they put a foot to our ass,
the
Legion of Boom.
Baltimore had a pretty good defense a couple years ago too, by the way. Solid over there. That was 2 years ago. I think that was 2 years ago.
When they went to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. They had a hell of a defense. But hey, Swipe can get that off.
They had Shaq Barrett too that year. Shaq Barrett was coming off the bench, and he became a Pro Bowler and All-Pro player later for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers too. They almost traded him for Joe Thomas that year, but the reason they didn't trade for Joe Thomas was because DeMarcus Ware got hurt, had a back injury, and Shaq had to play. So
I did advocate Seattle. I did advocate for your boys though, Ron, because Bobby Wagner, he went to Utah State, so I did advocate for your boys in that. Other than that, Seattle.
Shout out Bobby Wagner. Liam McLean said, I really enjoyed the Throwback Thursday, boys. Looking forward to a Magic versus Bird game, hopefully soon.
Liam, what up, Liam? That's a hell of a name right there.
Looking forward to a finals game, hopefully soon.
Oh, man. Telling you, these next upcoming Thursdays is about to get nasty. Specifically with two dudes up here, but y'all just gonna have to see.
By the way, Ron, no more Minnesota games in the 90s with Kevin Garnett, please. No more.
Early 2000s?
I think I'm good. Early 2000s. I think I can get with early 2000s, but watching that game yesterday, it brought back a lot of things that confirmed, Minnesota was garbage.
Yeah, wait till you watch 76ers still. Wait till you watch 76ers.
Whack as heck.
Wait till you see when they run a play for Dikembe Mutombo as a tertiary ball handler and they have his ass shoot.
Dikembe Mutombo is not the tertiary ball handler.
Stop swiping. No, we're not
I know who they were because I watched them. Aaron McKee, that was tertiary ball handler for them. Eric Snow, secondary ball handler for them. No, I just know what I'm talking about. So if you bring it up, I'm gonna be able to answer the question. We can move on.
As you were saying, Ron.
Fellas, I did say we were going to get to the top 4 teams in the West, but we have yet to address the title. You guys see, Paolo Banchero clears Victor Wembanyama as a top 10 player in the NBA. Now, these aren't my words, but these were words said by a fellow podcaster who happened to play in the NBA. Yes, his name is Jeff Teague, and Jeff Teague on his show said, the reason I say he's better than Wemby is because Wemby ain't really did nothing yet. We just like Wemby because he's a freak. He's a phenomenal player, but I'm going to go with what I see. Do you guys see Paulo being better than Victor Wembanyama?
Did he say top 10 or did you just add that part?
They were talking about, that's where the conversation started with who's the top 10 players.
Okay, I didn't know. That's why I was also looking for context. I disagree with him, but
I mean, I agree with him a little bit. I understand we still looking at, we still hoping what we can get out of Wemby. I mean, we all know by the end of, if he can stay healthy, Wemby probably gonna be one of the best players of all time. But I'm just going off of what we've seen so far. Like Paulo improved himself a lot, man. You can't. I don't think that's a bad take by Jeff Teague, to be honest with you. I don't think so. I think that's a cool take. Like, I mean, until we see Wemby get out there and do it, then it's be like, all right. And I'm pretty sure he'll be like, all right, yeah, he better than Paulo. But
you didn't see Paulo, Jordan. You didn't see Paulo play this season, the 25-26 season. You didn't see him play, but you heard he played 76 games. What does his numbers look like?
Wemby or Paulo?
Paulo. He played 76 games this year. You didn't see him play. What does his numbers look like?
Shit, probably first team All NBA. Shit, that's what it looked like to me. Could be first, second team All NBA. Good 26 a game. Good 7 rebounds a game.
26, 7.
Isn't that what he averaged this year?
Yeah, like, that is actually what he averaged.
Yeah.
Hey, but he didn't play enough games, though, right?
Yeah,
I feel like
He
with
played 46.
the only thing you can say that you haven't seen from Wemby is the playoffs. And if that's a separator, you value playoffs, and that's why you have Paolo over Victor Wembanyama, because you've seen Paolo Banchero perform at a high level in the playoffs, then that's the best argument you have. But I don't know why we're acting like we haven't seen Wemby play at a top 6 level this past season before he got hurt. He was a runaway defensive player of the year. He led the NBA in total blocks and missed almost half the season. Like, he was going to run away with the award and was one of the 6 best players on the planet when he was playing. So I don't think that Paolo in the regular season has ever peaked that high. So if I'm looking at a player and just what they've shown me at their best, how they can perform, I think Wembanyama proved already that he's better. He just has to stay healthy.
I think you harping on his defense a lot. Like, and I'm cool with that as a defensive player. Like, he shut that shit down. Like, I think hands down he probably be the best defensive player. But we talking about overall, like helping your team, win, helping them. And I'm not saying Paulo was the only factor in that, because he did miss some games and Orlando was still good. But I feel like if we saying he top 6, his team ain't supposed to be that bad. They ain't supposed to be that terrible.
So if the driving force of their winning is their defense, and Paolo Banchero isn't the best defender on the Magic,
not a horrible defender though.
No, he's not. Is he the driving force behind their winning?
I think they have a solid team. I agree with you that they have a solid team. I don't know if you want to say the driving force. He's the best player on that team, if that's what you asking me. Like, he's for sure the best player.
Joe, I pulled this up.
He's not a top 6 player in the NBA, though. I don't think Paulo is a top 6 player in the NBA.
Can he play himself into the top 10 this season? I'm sorry, really quickly.
Yes,
Can he play himself into the top 10 this season?
Paulo?
Yeah. Paulo and Wemby had the same record this year because they both played 46 games. They both were 21 and 25 when they played.
Yeah, but
so Jordan, I pulled this up.
That's why I just
July 9th.
I don't think Paulo or Wemby is top 6.
We were having a conversation about Wemby and some other people. Wemby this year, out of just a jump shooter, a player that took 400 jump shots last year. He was ranked 84th in the NBA in terms of overall efficiency as a jump shooter. So he's already, which would be relative to 400 players, like already an upper tier jump shooter.
Where was Paulo? Do you know?
Paulo, I would have to go back into the numbers. I don't know where Paulo was, but Paulo's probably I would say maybe around there somewhere. But
Wemby averaged what, 24 or 25?
Wemby averaged 24 this year. Paulo averaged about 26.
Yeah.
And I felt like you're getting the same offensive value from Wemby, if not better.
Whoa. And Joe, it was looking a lot different before he got injured. That 24, that 26 from Paulo was looking more like
he was
28 to like.
Yeah, when he came back from injury,
it wasn't the same.
Turned it up to a different level.
How Wemby was looking, because Wemby started the season slow, and I remember because he had that game against Dallas opening night. And after the first 10 games, we spoke about Wemby because he was struggling. He was shooting like 20% from 3. And then Wemby decided to turn into like 7'4" KD. And for like the next 2 months, shot 40% from 3 and was averaging like 27. Like that same thing does apply to Wemby. Like from that point on. So the 36 games after his 10th game of the season. Let me just make sure I'm getting the numbers correct. 37 games, sorry. Wemby was averaging 25.9 points, which is Paulo's season average, 11 rebounds, shooting 49% from the field and 38% from 3. And he shot 82% from the free throw line. He shot 9 threes a game.
That's a lot of threes.
Like Wemby was going crazy on offense, and he's the best defender in the sport and was producing like it during that stretch. So you got someone who we just had the super chat about how much do we undervalue defense. Wemby, whether we think Paulo's a good defender, a mid defender, really good defender,
he cleared.
Wemby clears him.
Right.
Wemby, like that's without conversation. If you don't think Wemby's the best defender in the sport, he's top 5. Paulo's not. So just off that alone, we know Wemby's got the advantage on defense. Then offensively, if you think Paulo's clearly a better offensive player because of the ball handling, because of the fact that he's able to create his own shot more seamlessly, I do think Paulo is probably a more gifted passer at this point. Yeah. I understand the case for Paulo being a better offensive player. I definitely don't think that Paulo clears him offensively when you factor in all of the stuff that Wemby can do without the ball as a screener, as a lob threat, just his catch radius overall. He's a better shooter in my opinion. All of that stuff leads me to saying I think if Paulo is a better offensive player, it's marginal. And then I'm looking at the best defender in the sport. I think Wemby is just the better player. Now, I understand we haven't seen it in the playoffs, and I do have hesitations about Wemby in the playoffs, the Wemby I just saw last year. I have hesitations about it. but I think Wemby's better. And then, like, if you want to go the advanced stats route, this was yet another year where the Magic performed better with Paulo off the floor. Like, it keeps happening. Like, that's what it keeps happening. I don't know why that keeps happening, but it does keep happening. So,
but to Joe's point, and Joe, you brought up Wemby was going to win the Defensive Player of the Year unanimously. Was that based on him? Like, was that based on block shots, or was that just based on him overall as a better defender? Because because the reason why I'm asking you that, Joe, is because I think that we playing a dangerous game here. Like you said, he ended up 56 games. He led the league in blocks. So if we're doing that, and that is a huge impact on the defensive end, I'm not going to argue that point. But if he's doing that consistently, is that the standard now for Wemby? And when somebody else does that, or somebody else does something close to that, and Wemby does more than what they did, is now Wemby out of the Defensive Player of the Year conversation?
So I think
that's where it gets tricky.
The blocks has it's a big argument for Wemby. The rim protection in general. I think that's the biggest argument for him. When he was on the floor, the Spurs defense was top 10.
Sure.
When he was off the floor, they fell all the way to 30th in the NBA. So I think the value he had on his team defense on and off the floor is why he was the runaway Defensive Player of the Year.
The reason why I'm saying that's Wipo, because I can see that the little bit of disconcern in your face, because like somebody has a Joker year. Okay, they might be the league MVP, but Joker might have a better year than he did the year before, which was that year that they ended up winning.
We've seen that happen.
That's what I'm talking about. I just feel like it's a dangerous space to be in, because now what we're doing is we're not. I don't think that we're being consistent with who this guy is. If Russell Westbrook was the league MVP, not because he led the league in scoring, not because he led the league in assists, was he the league MVP because he averaged a triple-double, or because he was the most valuable player in the game? And if he was the league MVP because he averaged a triple-double, then he should have won it three more times.
I think Wemby was the most valuable defensive player, which is what I would say. I think sometimes I think when we talk about, like, we did this with Steph Curry and his three-point shooting the other day, I think we can minimize players to their best asset and say that's what they do, all they do type thing. Wemby is the best rim protector in the league, but there's so many other things that contributes to the overall layout of the Spurs defense. And I think the in-between stuff matters too. I think the fact that, like, the deterrent stuff, I think I brought this up before, but like when teams are in transition and Wemby's in transition, they're not scoring at the rim. Like, they don't even look at it. They like literally will reset the play. Like, you can't measure that. Like, that's defensive value, like right there, being able to do things like that. If you're running a pick and roll, you're not throwing lobs. If you're running like certain sets, you're just not able to pass inside because he's there. Kind of
like Steph getting double.
Yeah, it changes everything. Just like Steph, you're sitting two with the ball. Like,
sure, I can get with that.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's just like there's kind of this gravity thing with Wemby too that gets to talk about, and nobody else has that.
He changes the dimensions of the court on defense. It's unique, and he's 7'4" with an 8-foot wingspan. And he's mobile. And then offensively, I do think Paulo is a better offensive player. Yeah, I think Paulo's a better.
What's the gap
player
between them two, though, Mars? Because it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like you're that convinced that Paulo's a better offensive player. Sounds like you think he is, but it's like,
the thing with Paulo is that it's difficult. Yeah, sorry, Mars. The thing with Paulo that's difficult to measure is that he's a better ball handler. He's a better passer. Those are things that he has an advantage over Wemby, but the ball stops with him as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when you take into account Wemby's spacing and his value as a shooter, and even I think maybe if you look up the mid-range shooter numbers, I wouldn't even be surprised if Wemby was a better mid-range shooter percentage-wise than Paulo, even though Paulo takes much more. So there's much more of a volume there. But I think I value the spacing and the rim presence with Wemby more than I value the ball handling and the passing with Paulo, because I feel like Paulo doesn't leverage it as much as I'd like him to leverage it. He's not attacking downhill as much as Franz Wagner, to where that part of his game will shine. He's more so waiting for the defense to collapse on him when he's holding the ball for 2, 3, 4 seconds and then making kickouts, as opposed to creating advantages. And I feel like that's the difference.
Is that because of Franz being on the team, why he can't get downhill as much as he would like to?
People attribute it to the spacing of the team. I think Paulo right now just really loves settling for jump shots. I feel like he's a lot like Carmelo Anthony in that way.
Right there, Ron. I think your man should be. I think Paulo is a 30-10 guy. I think he that good. I know I might sound crazy, but I think he's 30.
He averaged that in the playoffs. They were back-to-back years.
I think he could be that good.
If you go off of that, what y'all talking about, Paulo settling for jump shots? I mean, Wemby has that problem bad.
Yeah,
he has that really bad. I mean, even in transition,
he is also a better jump shooter than Paulo,
and that's fair. And I want to say, because I've been pretty quiet on this because I'm still trying to work it out, and I've come to the conclusion that I think this is wrong. I think this is false. I know sometime in the season I still have Paulo over Victor, but I mean, Victor, you can see he's getting stronger. You can see his body's changing. I think a lot of the issues for him was just being young, being raw, and not really having the level of teammates around him. I'm not saying he wasn't taking it serious, but I just don't think that level of teammates he had around him could really play ball and really show his real value. I think this year he has a much better team. I think he'll be able to show his value more because the team will win more games. At this point in their career, I think this might be the year where Wemby makes it obvious, like Paulo's not better than him.
That's where I'm at.
Wemby's at that stage now, where it's like you can see his body has changed. He's putting weight on. He's stronger, and with his length and getting stronger in your hindquarters, in your core section, it's going to make him be able to change direction a little faster on defense, which means he's going to get to more blocks. He's going to cut the court off even more than what Mars was saying earlier. Like Mars, to your point, he changes all the dimensions of the basketball court, and when he's able to change direction even faster and help even more just by being stronger in his hindquarters, he's gonna just freak the whole game out. The game is gonna be. He got De'Aaron Fox running with him now. I think it's gonna get ugly. I think Wemby's finally at the stage where we can see he's the best, and he's gonna be the best in the NBA for some time.
I think the point that you made about like this season and him really having a chance to prove that it's clearly him, I do think I see that for sure. But I do want to just shed light on Paulo. Like I said this, I think at some point in the regular season last year, but like I was like, what Paulo, and this is before they made it to the playoffs last year, obviously, but Paulo making the postseason with the Magic was a big deal to me. I don't know if it was a big deal to everybody else, but to me, it was a big deal because I was like, this is a guy that won Rookie of the Year. And, in terms of living up to expectations on a draft pick, he's kind of done that. In the playoffs, he's so far limited games. In his first playoff series, I thought that was going to go 5. That went 7. He was averaging, I think, like 27. I know it was like 45, 41 splits. So seeing his numbers from the moment he stepped into the league, in his rookie year, he was averaging 20, around 7 rebounds, like 3 or 4 assists. But like, if you're averaging 20 in your rookie year, I'm paying attention to that. I'm looking for the next year to see the sophomore slump. He went up like 3 points, and the rebound stayed the same, assists stayed the same, percentages was getting a little bit better. You give a little bit more grace to younger players anyway, and especially if it's the sophomore year. And then we get into last year, he played the same exact amount of games as Wemby, which is why I definitely would not say that he cleared Wemby ever, actually. But also, thank you, Mars, for harping on the defense of Wemby and how valuable that is, because it can put him in certain conversations kind of unanimously. Like when we're talking about defenders, you can't name 5, 4, maybe 3 better defenders in the league today, in basketball today, than Victor Wembanyama based on his rim deterrence alone, because that's the best in the league. I mean, just by genetics and default. So for me,
9-foot tall ass dude.
I mean, it is like bro knows angles, where to be, if he's got to, be on the left side, the right side, whichever angle he's got to come in from to get the block, he can do it.
But there aren't many better big scorers in the league than Wemby either, though. I think that also needs to be said. Exactly. I think Jokic, Embiid, Anthony Davis, like
maybe Cat,
Karl Anthony Towns, like it's just not that many. I think it matters that you're like one of the best scorers at your position, and you're also like what you are defensively.
Yeah, looking at the efficiency.
That name Joel Embiid.
I did.
You ain't said Joel?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Giannis. He might be what? He might be at the big man position. I'm talking power forward, Smith center. He might
I'm
be
just doing centers, but Giannis obviously a better
In
scorer.
terms of
He
the
has
score,
he has a lot of noticeable flaws, but especially in the regular season, he is able to overcome a lot of it with like his outside shooting, his touch, and then just like as a role man, he has such a large catch radius. He is able to catch and just finish over the top.
But then once he gets hot too, Mars, like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah,
he's
then
crossing
you've
half
got
court and
nothing
he's
you
pulling.
can do. Yeah, then
Yeah.
you've got nothing you can do. The concern is obviously the playoff stuff, and we see it. We've seen teams start adjusting. It's like we don't need to put a big on Wemby based on last season. Put a big wing on him. Put someone who's strong. Bump him off his spots, and then he's not really going to be a threat downhill because he's not able to beat you off the bounce, and he's going to settle for a lot of outside shots. Paolo doesn't really have that same issue. Like it's kind of the same, but it's a little bit different in the sense that like teams will put smaller people on Wemby, but the smaller people are still 6'8". But Paulo will go out of his way to mismatch hunt guards because that's where he's at his best, when he's able to bully you, get all the way to the rim.
Yeah.
But then like the negative side effect of that is that and this is because of Orlando's spacing, so it comes back to hurt him based on his team construct. Because he's mismatch hunting guards, the rim protection is still there. So he's having to try to finish over rim protection and then the small guards, and then you get the issue with all the shot selection, and he's taking turnaround jumpers with 6'3" guys on him. But part of that is because he's not able to, in my opinion, he's not able to consistently blow by bigs on the outside. So he has to go against smaller players. And then you end up having the issue where it's like, well, there's a big down there protecting the rim. What do you do about that? It's like they both have flaws scoring, but I think, and this is because I've seen it with Paulo, and he turns into one of the best three-point shooters in the league in the playoffs for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I do trust Paulo as a playoff scorer more than Wemby at this point. But if I see Wemby in the playoffs next year and then he's still unstoppable, it's like, oh, okay, well then there's my question answered.
That'll be
But as of now, I think Paulo does have those questions answered more than Wemby does. So
I will say with Jeff Teague's take, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with it. I just don't think it's crazy. I don't think what he's saying.
I
is
agree.
Like, wow.
I agree.
I think it's like
I don't think it's crazy, but I disagree. I don't think it's crazy.
His main argument to me, from what I gathered, was like the question that you're asking is who's done more. Wemby's going into his third year. Paulo just is going into his fourth year. And like I said, for him getting drafted to the Orlando Magic, they both got drafted to shitty situations and were told to make chicken salad out of it if they don't want to be called a bust. Paolo Banchero is averaging. Well, you know what I mean. Swipe. You know,
Franz Wagner was.
Well, okay, yeah, but for outside of Franz,
Jalen Suggs,
only consistent offensive option that he's had, at least. Jalen Suggs not really that consistent offensively. Yeah,
Jalen Suggs just really got actually good. Yeah,
exactly. And that's even like you're kind of holding your breath a little bit still, hoping that it just continues. But whatever. The point is that they both got drafted to shit and were expected to make something out of it. Paulo, in his two playoff series, has exceeded expectation just in the series alone. For how many games did you think that they're going to even win? In the Celtics series this year, it was painfully obvious that the Magic had the worst offense in the league. I've said that on numerous occasions. Watching them in a half-court set defensively can turn into some really gritty basketball, decent basketball. Watching them in a half-court set offensively is like mind-scratching basketball. Why is this on national television? This is why you niggas don't get.
It's been like that for years too, by the way.
Exactly. So my question is, we'll see what happens with Desmond Bane as a new acquisition. If he helps, like, I don't know, just make that 3-point part of the offense somewhat consistent and just open up different avenues for them to run different sets. We'll see. But yeah.
Fellas, I do want to ask a question because both teams got much better. So the question I want to ask is, obviously, Paulo's out east, Wemby's out west. Who wins a ring first?
It's hard to answer that question because they both may never win a fucking ring.
Yeah, I was gonna say they both might not win. I might
at the same time, if we had to shoe in that they both could win a ring, I can't see nobody going to San Antonio. So, shit.
I mean San Antonio.
Could you see somebody going to Orlando?
They just got De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
and they just
that was in a trade though. That was in a trade, Ron.
I mean, they got Dylan.
That was one of his
Harper.
destinations, though. Chill. He wanted to go there.
Vaughn Castle. They already have Sohan. They just got Carter Bryant.
His wife's from them.
Y'all that high on Carter Bryant playing this year? Like you think
No,
Carter
no,
Brown's gonna play a lot of minutes?
this year, not really. But
Probably not. Yeah.
I don't think Orlando's winning the chip this year, so I don't think Wemby's going.
Hey, it's wide open for him though.
Yeah, to make it, to get blitzed by whoever comes out the West. Yeah, to get blitzed. But
I'm gonna go with Victor Wembanyama, and I feel like I think he's just a better talent. I think he has potential to be the best player in the world, and I think the Spurs just have overall more assets to pick from to not be in the second apron. Orlando paying as much money as they're paying Paulo, Franz, Jalen Suggs, and Desmond Bane. That second apron is going to hit in a few years, and when it does, they might have to blow up their team. So when you take that into account, the timeline for Orlando is really a couple of years where I feel like the Spurs have much more leeway to get good values, get good contracts around Wemby with a better supporting cast to make deeper playoff runs.
Moss, you just said something.
This second apron thing is interesting to me because I like it and dislike it. I like it because it forced teams to actually give a shit about their draft picks. Like you can't no longer just draft just to fucking draft. Like Joel was just saying that second apron, it's either they're gonna have to throw away their team or draft some players that you can develop and that you can keep.
Imagine that. Imagine getting somebody that you have to turn into a player.
Thank you. But it'd be too many people. It'd be too many teams that just draft shit and they don't face
because I got the 23rd pick in the draft. I got to draft somebody instead of
they got money in the offseason, so they feel like we just grab a free agent. But it's
but to be fair, I feel like all the scouts do their work. They just are wrong. Like a lot.
Yeah. Then he quit. That's what I'm saying, though. It's time to stop that being wrong shit. Like
it's hard, but it's hard to not be wrong. I mean, the draft has always been
that
like,
part I could get with.
Yeah, it's a lottery. I mean, who knows? Like, I don't know if that kid's gonna like once he gets this money, if he's gonna turn in anything, or if he stops growing, if he stubs his toe and his toe doesn't grow correctly for the rest of his life, and now he can't dribble right. Like, I mean, you just literally just don't know. Like, you
don't. But I'm saying with the 23rd pick, you're supposed to pick a player that's ready to play.
That's fair.
Yeah, Deron Holmes.
But George
wrote Deron Holmes off. So are you calling yourself a casual?
I'm not writing Deron Holmes off.
I'm
not writing Deron Holmes off. I'm just saying by December you're gonna be writing them off, just like Julian Strauss.
He's a rookie. Damn, who you think I am? I'm not you.
You're gonna be Vince McMahon.
Who is that? When the Zach Edey conversation, I was standing for Zach Edey.
He gonna be Vince McMahon. Watch, swiping by December gonna be you're fired.
Never.
That's what he gonna be.
Nope. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
Moss,
not
you had
irrational
said
like
that Orlando ends up in the NBA Finals only to get blitzed by who's ever coming out of the West. I mean, can we really say that after what we just seen this season that just passed? Like I had Oklahoma City stomping Indiana. That was a 7-game dogfight.
I don't know why. I said that before the series started that it was gonna go 7 games.
You did say that, Jordan. I'm not gonna lie about that. Yes, you did. I had them smoking them in 5 games. So
it's just not as good as we thought they were, bro. I mean, we can have a conversation.
You also said the Timberwolves was going to the finals.
I did say that, but then when they got their ass tore up, I had to go back. But what did I say first, though? I said they was gonna spank the Lakers' ass. I said that. Off the rip. So I just didn't know. I apologize. I didn't know Ant-Man was gonna shit the bed against goddamn SGA. He shit the bed on me. I had to drop Ant-Man. I had to drop him lower, bro. It's unspoken. Yeah, I had to send him. I had to send him down the list, bro. I had to. But I don't mind. I don't mind when I'm wrong. I'm gonna tell you when I'm wrong, but when I'm right, you're gonna hear from me.
For sure.
I know I'm gonna be right by swiping by December.
Nope. I'm gonna
I know
do
that
my job. I don't know what to tell you. Like I'm just not allowed to do my job. I guess shout out to y'all.
You can do your job.
I'm gonna do it too.
I know it.
I'm looking forward to seeing the tweets about the non-Jokic minutes.
It's gonna be a process. I'm already laid out. It's gonna be a process early and it'll get better at the later in the season. That should be like a very understandable thing. You got to figure it out. They got so many players now that Jordan called fluff. They got to figure out a rotation now.
Can I get one promise from you?
No, I'm not promising you anything.
I just don't want to hear.
I'm not promising you anything. Nope.
Okay. I'm gonna just say what I don't want to hear. Even if everything goes wrong, based on everything I've heard you say this offseason,
like through the whole year.
Yeah. But there's one thing I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear you blaming the front office for these acquisitions.
No, but when I didn't do that in 23
either. It didn't work out. Yeah, if they don't work out, I don't want you to be like, That's it. That's all it is.
Do you know how many times you brought up Calvin Booth?
2023. They had enough to do what they needed to do. The issue they haven't had the last 2 years. I feel like that's been everyone's acknowledged that, but if I acknowledge that, then it's somehow wrong.
Everything else
they
is
had
fine.
the worst. I think they had the worst non-starting unit in the playoffs. I think that's a problem. I don't think you should be able.
Yeah, but you tracking the non-Jokic minutes is fine. I just don't want to hear if the non-Jokic minutes go badly. I don't want to hear you blaming the front office.
There's nothing to blame about.
Talking right now, Mark.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like the issue with y'all, though, if I can course correct you a little bit, is that like when people do their job well, you get credit for it. But the players didn't have to do the job. At the end of the year, they don't win the title, and then it's because, say, the whatever doesn't happen, then the front office did their job. They literally traded a major contract.
That's all I'm asking.
They added 3 other additional players, and they left the 15th spot open in case they need to add another player. Whereas Booth literally said, we're not re-signing KCP to have room to sign another player. You get to the deadline, you don't do anything. You literally just sitting on your hands, and you created the beef with Michael Malone.
Swiper,
yeah,
I must commend you. Swiper, I must commend you.
He was right, Swiper.
Huh?
They got him up out of there, and now all of a sudden they're in such a much better.
Yeah, John Wallace. Again, I will speak directly to this. John Wallace has been he came from the Wolves. He knew what the team needed. He done a great job.
I must commend you. I will say that you have a special talent. The details that you bring up is the shit that nobody in life would bring up. This man just brought up a GM leaving the 15th spot open. I never thought I'd hear these shits when we talking about
my job, y'all. I don't know what to tell y'all, man.
Boy, like he left the 15th spot open. It's like every time Swiper give an explanation, I just hear more shit that I would have never heard in the barbershop. I would have never heard this shit, period.
And you know what else you heard today? A tertiary ball handler is a useful thing. That's what you heard. All right. Next super chat.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Wait, hold on, Rob. Who are the Trailblazers of today?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Swipe.
Who are the tertiary Trailblazers?
Now that would be Sim West, 34.
Shout out to all the tertiary Glazers, but the top Glazers are SMN RNDM. Shout out my man SMN. He came with damn near 6,000 points, glazing points. Shout out to him.
Damn, when did he say something? I ain't see his name all throughout the chat.
Oh no, this is from yesterday.
Even yesterday, I ain't see him. But what?
Oh no, he did. He sent some super chats. He was yapping. He sent some super chats.
Shout out my man SMN. Deleted, I think it's 9202. He came in second, and right behind him, my dog Sim West 34. Coming in top 3. Shout out to everybody else that's on this list, but those are the top 3 Trailblazers of the day.
Ron, can you just give us the audience a brief explanation? How do you become a Trailblazer of the day?
So obviously, it's this little chat that you guys are in that you can type in and troll in and sometimes send insightful things in. Well, every chat that you send through, you get XP points or glazing points. But when you send through a super chat, I think I don't know exactly how it weighs it, but obviously the more super chats you send through or the higher the donation is, the more points you get. So essentially, that's how you run the numbers up. And
pay to play.
Exactly. And you could actually see it right there on YouTube, right above the chat. It will show you the XP. And then when you click on it, it'll show you who's top 3. So
and when you texting it, it gives you like 1 point if you don't send no bread.
Jordan, you know all about that. Get down in them bars in Houston to pay to play areas, man. Shout out to my dog, man. That's my dog.
Boy,
Jordan,
boy, I ain't gonna lie, boy. Boy, I know y'all saw me in San Francisco. I barely go out in Houston, but boy, I went on a one-man mission the other day. Boy, I'm gonna just leave it at that.
You was a one-man record crew?
Boy, was I? Oh my God. Jesus Christ, boy! I'm gonna leave it at that. Whatever y'all do with y'all imagination, leave it at that.
If you ever need me to come play Thompson, Steph Curry, I got you. Just hit me.
Hey, boy, I'll come play. Hey, what Thug say? He cold.
What up, Drenchy?
He cold. That's what y'all would have been saying. Y'all would have been looking at me like, what? He cold. Yeah, boy. Hey, I'm telling you, boy, I'm like that. Swiper, don't you ever disrespect me like that, brother.
No, I got the highest. No. I got the highest off-court warp in the world. So
you crazy as hell, boy. Boy, my phone look like a phone book, boy. It look like I owe somebody money the next day.
No, if you go to Jordan's phone right now, it's gonna have a name and it's gonna have a $sign right next to it. So you can just go through like Tracy.
It ain't gonna have no names. I don't save them. I don't save no names, brother. I gotta go off the dome to see who I'm talking.
Hey, Jordan, you gotta call. Wait, when you want to call me, you gotta go what *69 so they don't have your number, right? *69.
67, you freaky man. That's why.
No, that's the number. That's it. It's literally that's what it is. Block phone. Block the number. Y'all didn't have those. I remember.
Shout out *67. But all right, y'all. It is the crunch time chat segment. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. The people have spoken. So we will answer. Also, too, if you in here, once again, you already know, like the video, subscribe, turn on your notification bells. This is the panel. We are live Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. Eastern time to 2 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Keyron Jones, 4416, said, I got to hear Swiper's top 10 all time.
That was when I was saying if I'm going on more based on Mars's logic about just who played better, then it would look way different than my traditional list has looked.
Amazing logic that is, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't want to go that far because that would be, 'cause then Bill Russell's out, so I don't want to do that.
He should be.
Shut up.
He should be. Mars gonna hang on to it as long as possible, but
until someone come along who's more impactful than Bill Russell was, then yeah,
hey,
he'd go until then.
I get you, Mars. Look, we right here with it, gang. But when we take this shit down, that's where he come down with it.
Right, never taking it down. Then we gonna be like this the rest of the show.
No time off. Baca said episode 310. The panel 2 episodes late. But with KD, quote unquote, impacting the game more than Jokic, I think it's a bit disingenuous. Jokic is a big in a league full in a league full of wings. Wouldn't it make more sense that a 6'11" passing big is harder to find in a prospect where 6'6" to 6'10" off/two-way wings rule the league?
I mean, of course, the archetype just doesn't exist that much. That's like actually that you can actually play and continuously play and that are MVP level players. I mean, yeah, everybody wants to be a wing. I wanted to be a wing. No one wants to be a passing big.
Baca got a weird case. Why is he around? I don't know, bro.
Well, speaking of Baca, he sent through another super chat on this. He said wings cite Paul George, or said wings like Paul George as their GOAT/inspiration or inspo. Also, passing bigs are becoming more of a thing. I don't know. Convo just seemed disingenuous.
Convo, man.
Yeah, but I hate when people use Paul. Why do everybody just default when bringing up the shit? Just use Paul George. That be killing me with that. Like,
because he is 6'9" wing. He is 6'9" wing.
He ain't no 6'9". He about 6'7".
He about 6'9" on a good day.
No,
and he got a really nice handle, and he can shoot the ball. Really well.
But he don't have enough. He don't have enough accolades. He don't have enough nothing.
They don't care about accolades. They don't talk about accolades. They talking about players they watched and studied.
Yeah, but we watched and studied that. Like, no, and I look, no disrespect. Paul George.
You think these guys? You think Ace Bailey out there looking at Paul George basketball reference page like he ain't got enough MVP votes?
I know, but Mars, don't you think that shit is just a little bit weird when we talk about like greats and GOATs that they just reference Paul George?
No, because I think what they're looking at is the skill set, and the skill set from a guy his size is unique. So
man, put your hand down.
I told you it's gonna be up for the rest of the show.
It's resting on the arm right now.
Facts. Huh?
It's resting on the arm right now.
What do you mean resting on the arm?
It's resting on your arm.
On the arm.
Your hand ain't in the air.
Oh, my arm. You think my armrest is that high up? Oh, fair enough.
Oh, it's on your desk or something.
My desk is over here. Now, you wouldn't even see my arm.
What kind of desk you got?
Yeah, if I leaned on my desk, you wouldn't see it. My desk is way in front of me. I lean back because I rock in my chair. So yeah, I exercise, man. But anyway, yeah, people look at Paul George the same reason. Same reason people look at Kyrie. It's not because he's got a bunch of accolades, it's because of the skill set. Tracy McGrady's another one like that. It's not because of the accolades, it's because of the skill set. Like, it's not a hard concept.
I mean, I guess so, but it's just kind of cringy. It's a little cringy a little bit, though. I would say Paul George is, that's family, but it's cringy. I just want to say that's cringy.
Grandpa Town said those things play a role. Another example is Cristiano Ronaldo. In 2018, he lost the Ballon d'Or because some people didn't vote on him because of rape case.
Hey, Chill, that's you with that shadow? You had that midnight shadow in that picture, Chill? Bring that back up, Ron.
No.
That ain't you?
Oh, that is me, yes.
That's you anyway.
That's got that midnight. Chill,
what year is that from, Chill?
It was in 2006.
Who would have won if you got to play one-on-one right there?
Yo.
So you ain't standing over D Wade.
So were you 33 in that picture?
That'd be a crazy call.
I was 33 in that picture.
That would have been a crazy pause if I would have said that. But you do got D Wade. Bring that picture back up again, Ron, one more time.
That picture gone. I ain't gonna lie to you. That picture. Oh, actually, no, it's not.
There you go, my boy, Chill Town, man. Chill. What you had going on right there? You had a little midnight shadow. I don't know.
No, he about to go find the picture. But the reason Cristiano Ronaldo ain't win that Ballon d'Or is because he wasn't the best player in the world. But that's neither here nor there.
What did Chill just bring? Oh boy, he got it framed. Whoa!
Hey, screenshot.
Oh, he must have edited that picture. It looked like on that one you ain't got as much facial hair. Look, on that one you all. I don't know. See, look, what's wrong with that?
Oh, check him out.
Oh, so you was with that whole Heat team.
Gary Payton?
Oh, Shaq. You were there because of Shaq that year?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Chill don't give Shaq that. No, you was there because you Chill.
Well, no, I'm saying like that's his cousin. I know he used to be with him everywhere. So you know what I mean. That's
Paul George, my cousin. He ain't never invited me nowhere.
Paul George ain't your cousin. That's why.
You a damn I'm willing to bet.
That's a one-way cousin relationship. That's what I'm hearing.
No, it's not, brother.
Paul George don't claim me. That's tough.
He ain't never invited me nowhere. His dad.
I wouldn't either. I barely invited you out.
That's cool. I didn't need to though. I ain't need to. So it is what it is. So don't invite me nowhere. You ain't on my level when we go out. When we step out, you ain't on my level.
Rod said, I don't get how Chill is a Giddey fan, but hates Luka's defensive effort when Josh is flat out worse. Josh fouling issues is worse than anything Luka does.
I could still be a fan of you and still recognize that you have the same issue that somebody else has. I mean, I've discussed Josh Giddey as a bad defender. I have you've never heard me praise Josh Giddey as a defender. Never. On any level have you ever heard me praise him as a defender. Ever.
Stinky defender. Shout out to Josh Giddey though.
Like literally like Mars, like wet clothes in the house, all the windows closed, and it's 90 degrees stinky. Yes.
Stinky.
Garbage. Mm-hmm.
Victory the Great said, big up the panel. Mamba mentality for me is ruthless aggression. Dominate the floor. We could keep going on.
Allen Iverson. That's what I think of when I hear ruthless aggression. But
whatever. I'm not gonna tolerate that, but you're gonna defend Bill Russell. Not gonna tolerate that. And
I just praised Allen Iverson. What's your
after the ass whooping Allen Iverson took?
I just praised him. I said ruthless aggression. I think of Allen Iverson. You hate him for no reason.
For y'all to paint y'all nails and wear them dresses to the games and long ass shirts with no undershirts, we're gonna respect Allen Iverson. He did the same thing for the game. We're gonna respect. Put 2 fists up, Mars. Put 2 fists up.
Hell no.
Shout out
AI. Struggling with this one.
10 J said, did y'all see when Rashad McCants put LaMarcus Aldridge in his top 10 players of the 2010s above Kyrie?
I didn't see it.
I did not see that. I disagree with that.
Say I'm watching Black Clover, y'all. So forgive me.
You watching it right now?
Huh?
You watching it right now?
No, I've been watching Black Clover like in my off time, like while I'm doing stuff. And on the Stairmaster, you can just put an iPad in front of you.
Hey, Swiper, I was on them Stairmasters the other day, brother. I only got 10 minutes for that motherfucker. All right, you out your damn mind.
Get your 20 in, bro.
10.
Hey, I can't do that. Like if I'm on the treadmill or the Stairmaster or the bike or anything like that, I can't watch. Watch nothing. I got to do music. I don't know why. It
doesn't help you zone out if you watch.
Hell no.
Nah, I like music. That's all. I just listen to music.
Okay.
Some smooth R&B. That'd been the dog.
Well, Ox, I'm saying I'm being asking
the R&B while I'm working.
Is your gym ceiling kind of high? Because you want a Stairmaster, you're at like 12.
My guys want to talk about that gym plan.
How tall do you think I am? Like what type of gym you go to?
I'm saying. The gym it's a multi-level, so the Stairmaster is like there's not a lot of space here for me, and I bump my head sometimes. I mean the people. I guess the people that the architects that designed the gym I go to, I guess they had enough sense to realize everybody's not 5'11". Right. The 5'11" people that made this gym didn't think about us that are 6'1" and up. I know you're right.
Swiper, when you bump your head, I know your shit lump up just like Tom and Jerry. Just soar the fuck up as soon as it go. Every time. That shit
like Conehead.
T-Will 4084 said the Kobe disrespect needs to stop. What Shaq said is ridiculous. Kobe's legacy without Shaq would have been and is greater than vice versa.
I don't think Shaq's ridiculous for thinking he was good enough to three-peat with Tracy McGrady.
That's where I think that's where you getting it. Like, I think that's where you're getting it confused. I think Shaq would have had to do more. Like everything that he did with Bryant, like if he had Tracy McGrady or if he had, I don't know, Paul Pierce, he would have had to. I still think he would have won, but I just think he would have had to do more with those guys than what he did. That's all.
I can understand the perspective that Shaq was just feeding his own ego by saying that he would have won with somebody other than Kobe because he was just so great. But I just think that it's the responsibility of him as somebody that ranked Kobe as the second best player of all time to also protect his legacy and not act like anybody can just come in and replicate the success that they had, because what they did was special. They won 3 championships in a row. That's a dynasty. They were a dynasty. And I feel like Kobe and Shaq's role in that dynasty were both very important to it. Like, I just feel like Kobe Bryant is the only one that gets in these hypotheticals. Like, we're not over here saying that if you replace Shaq with Tim Duncan on those Lakers teams, Kobe and Tim Duncan could have
if you replace Tim Duncan with Kevin Garnett on the Spurs conversation happens a lot.
It does. Today. I just think that Kobe Bryant gets brought into more.
If you replace KD with Melo on the Warriors,
what's more important, Joel? I think what's more important is telling the truth. And I think the truth is that this isn't about knocking Kobe Bryant. Right. I think it's more so about letting people know how good Shaquille O'Neal was. I think it's more about that. So I think it's more.
What about how good Kobe was?
Well, yeah, but that's not what this is about, because Kobe was definitely good. Kobe got better than what he was when he was playing with Shaq. So what I'm saying is the truth is the truth, and that's what's more important, is telling the truth, not necessarily conserving the legacy of something that doesn't need to be preserved. Everybody knows how great Kobe Bryant was, but the truth of the matter is Shaquille O'Neal was the best basketball player we have ever seen in our life when Kobe Bryant was playing with him. We have never seen anybody more dominant or better than that man, Shaquille O'Neal, at that time. I mean, so with that being said, I think Shaq simply just saying like, yo, I was like that. T-Mac could have came over here and I'd have got some with him too. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, Kobe,
I don't think that there's anybody that can replicate. Joe, I don't think that there's anybody who could replicate what Bryant did. I don't think so. No. So
and there's the thing: if we're telling the truth, then we have to tell the whole truth of the situation. Where Kobe Bryant being drafted to the Lakers, being a homegrown talent, not playing and getting a real role for the first 2 seasons, then I think in his 3rd year he started to get a real role on the team. Right. He was able to be patient enough to go through that, although it was frustrating. A big reason why Tracy McGrady left the Toronto Raptors was because he was playing with an all-NBA teammate in Vince Carter, and he wanted a heightened role. He wanted to be the guy. So would he have stayed with the Lakers as long as Kobe did and weighed out that larger role, or would have he left because he wanted to be the guy? He wanted to play. So
did Kobe though, and Shaq.
Kobe Bryant. The frustration started in the 03-04 season when it started to break. Tracy McGrady in his 4th year with the Toronto Raptors decided to leave in free agency because he wanted to be the #1 guy and he wanted to play in Orlando.
That's not even what this is about. This is about.
Now we're doing a referendum on Tracy McGrady's whole career.
But I'm saying that's the truth of the situation. And then the truth of the situation is that in '99 and 2000,
left if he was playing with Shaq.
But this is what I'm saying. In 99 and 2000, Tracy McGrady was not replacing Kobe Bryant that year and winning the championship.
But if Shaq was in Toronto, do you think Tracy McGrady would have left?
I don't know.
I don't think T-Mac would have left. I don't think T-Mac would have left had he just got more playing time.
Who in their right mind would leave Shaq?
He started in the second half of the season in Toronto. What I want to bring it back to the Lakers, because you're right. We haven't seen a player as dominant as Shaquille O'Neal. But before Kobe Bryant developed into Kobe, they were not going to the NBA Finals and winning.
What does that got to do with what Shaq said?
But before Kobe Bryant developed and became one of the go-to guys on the team and the second option, Tim Duncan beat Shaq in the playoffs and thoroughly outplayed him in 98 and 99.
He didn't have Kobe or T-Mac. So
Yeah, what does that got to do with Shaq saying that?
He had Kobe that year.
Kobe
Kobe averaged 21 that series that year. That was when he was still developing. But I'm looking at their three-peat. In 99 and 2000, I don't think you drop in 4-year Tracy McGrady into that situation.
So
Kobe was top 5 in defensive player of the year. And in game 7, when Shaq only took 9 shots, Kobe led that team to the NBA Finals in game 7. So I don't think you drop McGrady into that situation and they win.
27 points per game the very next season when he left to Orlando. Do you think that he wouldn't have been able to make a similar leap if he was in the situation as number one option?
Those years with Tracy McGrady, it's a bigger possibility that he could have played in that role. But I think that all we look at with those Lakers championships is we look at the finals opponents and not the pathway to the NBA finals. Because when they played the Kings and it went 7 in the Western Conference Finals, I don't know if Tracy McGrady had the same type of fourth quarter performances that Kobe Bryant would have had. Kobe Bryant in their 3-peat runs, he was either first or second in fourth quarter points in the entirety of the playoffs. The only year he wasn't number one was in 2001 when Allen Iverson was number one in fourth quarter points. In all those fourth quarters, Kobe Bryant had a lead efficiency and was the top scorer in the fourth quarter and their closer. I don't know if McGrady's doing the same thing.
Well, I mean, he don't have to, but Shaq can do it.
Yeah, Shaq said he is.
But Kobe had to be the fourth quarter scorer.
And Steph as well. Steph can get put in this too.
Well, Steph could, but I don't.
I'm not Swiper. Yes, they have done it before, but do they do it to that level?
Is that if I would have played with Prime T-Mac, if I would have played with Prime T-Mac, I would have still three-peated. That's not like an opinion of an outsider. I was the other person on the side of this duo. I'm making an argument that if Kobe wasn't there and T-Mac was his replacement, then I still would have won.
And this is the gripe I have with the Shaq comment, because if it's somebody else saying it, it's fine. But I think Shaq saying it rubs me the wrong way even more, because I feel like when you accomplish something special and people are a part of that, I think you owe it to them, if you care about them, to respect their contributions to what you accomplished. You don't hear Tim Duncan saying, you don't hear Tim Duncan saying, yeah, just put Tony Park, just replace Tony Park with somebody else. We would have won those championships.
Ask him to replace him with Steve Nash. I bet you think he still would have won.
Yeah, but he's not going to go out and say that himself. Like, maybe if a question is asked, but
and that's what happened to Shaq.
Shaq was based off of what T-Mac said, and it was proposed to him on his podcast. It's not like he just got up one day and just decided to say, fuck it.
Like, it's like Steph Curry. It's like Steph Curry minimizing Klay Thompson's role with winning with the Warriors. It's like the Warriors to this day.
I think people take it as that because Kobe passed. I think that's why people take it as that.
But Steph Curry, Draymond Green, to this day, Andre Iguodala, whenever they are asked about the Warriors winning championships when they got Kevin Durant, they all continue to say, we needed Kevin Durant. We needed him. They never did.
Say we don't need him.
I know they did, but Shaq needed Kobe. And
Shaq said I also could have won with T-Mac though. Like,
okay, but you don't hear these players that accomplish something special with their teammates by saying that somebody else will come in the situation and do it.
Shaq says things. Yeah, Shaq says things. Shout to Shaq. He thinks he could have won with T-Mac 3. Shout to him.
I don't know about 3. I don't know about 3, but I think they would have won at least 1 or 2.
And then I won with Wade as soon as I got a chance to. So he obviously believes that if you substitute Kobe for another player,
that is the best player.
I win. Because I won with Wade right after that. I mean, that's why he believes that.
And Kobe
that's a good point. That's a good point.
7 years later, 7, 8 years later,
he got a good team.
Kobe did one. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying Shaq in his brain, I won 3 with Kobe. And then I left the team and I won one Dwayne Wade. If you replace Kobe with Wade, I'm pretty sure I win still. If you replace Kobe with Mac, I'm pretty sure I win still. How do I know I can win without Kobe? Could Chill love to say Shaq was first team All-NBA, was almost MVP that year. And then he won with D-Wade. And D-Wade was excellent the whole playoffs. He's a great player. They're just great players. All of them are all great guards. Shaq believes I'm so good, I could win with any one of these players.
Especially during that time.
But he didn't win with Steve Nash. Nash was the MVP.
Steve Nash.
We talking about our 09.
Yeah, that one a little crazy.
Yeah, I think people took it as, Shaq doesn't respect Kobe. I think it's Shaq just praising himself.
He was that good,
Yeah, I think Shaq.
I mean, it's really not ridiculous. Like any all-time guy.
I mean, T-Mac was just like that. I don't know what to tell people. T-Mac was like
for sure.
But not only that, we literally just had this conversation, Ron. Didn't we talk about the best players from 2000 to 2025, and like my logic about how good Shaq was in those 3 years. Well, I mean, if you think about it, was Tracy McGrady a top 10 player during that time?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
So if
well,
you
2000, no, but 01,
okay,
02,
so
03, yeah,
so 01, 02. So if you took an arguably top 10 player and put him with Shaq during that time, could they have won the NBA? Could he have won the NBA championship with him?
I think they could have.
I 100% think that they could have.
Shit, ain't nobody beating Shaq and T-Mac.
Yeah. and the path could
unless
be
it's
different.
Kobe and Duncan, they'll beat them.
And the path could be different too.
Okay.
Like
I would love to see Kobe and Duncan.
I feel like the path would be different too, just because you got to understand, like, and being on a championship team. I don't know how many guys actually been on a championship team, but it's so many things that go into the locker room. Like Kobe and Shaq probably could have won more games. Like we not factor in the times Kobe proving a point or Shaq proving a point. Let's say that don't happen with
Game
T-Mac
7, Kobe proving a point. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
or let's say
Shaq, but,
let's say Kobe and T-Mac get on the team. They good friends. They don't necessarily go through that. So maybe they win more regular season games, or maybe they lose more. You don't know. Like the paths could be different. So when you brought up the point about the Sacramento Kings, they might not even play the Sacramento Kings. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case
can
could
change.
be.
Yeah.
So like that. That's why I don't want to necessarily harp on the exact situation, because I know on championship teams sometimes it's a lot of animosity in the locker room that you need, and sometimes with other teams you don't have it. Like it just depends. So like a lot makes up a championship. That's why I feel like people underestimate.
Somebody said in the comments that what if what Joel's saying not crazy. If someone said replace Jokic with Joel Embiid, Jamal Murray would have won the chip. Swipe would crash out. No, because Jokic is the best player on the team and the best player in the world. Shaq is the best player on the team and the best player in the world. Saying his second option, like I wouldn't know. If matter of fact, if you replace Jamal Murray with James Harden or whatever you want to play, then I don't think they would lose. I think they probably would have won multiple times by now.
They
so
still won it.
And 24 included. So I mean, it's just
they still would have won it.
Yeah,
doesn't work that way.
All right, fellas.
We
got a few more super chats. We got to go ahead and get up out of here, y'all.
So.
I don't want Mars's arm to fall off.
is dying.
Put it down, Mars. Put the arm
JB
down,
Waldo said, so explain.
No, we're gonna do this.
JB Waldo said, so explain to me how Pat is still QB1 if Josh and Lamar, yes, Lamar, have both outperformed Mahomes in an 18 game regular season 2 years in a row. Stop being biased, nigga.
First of all,
I swear to God, when Lamar wins, keep that talk.
First of all, Josh Allen got the most fraudulent MVP since Steve Nash won it. That's, by the way, I'm gonna say that. Since Steve Nash won MVP.
Man, Nash catching strays.
Yeah, the most fraudulent
MVP.
MVP.
Time to fight back.
Yeah, most fraudulent, because there's no way Lamar Jackson shouldn't have won MVP. And I agree with that chat. Josh Allen is super underrated. I mean, overrated. I've been saying this shit for a long time, but whatever.
Josh was better than Mahomes last year. Their question.
He wasn't better than Lamar Jackson last year, though.
No, I agree. But their question is, how can you be better 2 straight seasons, which Lamar and Josh have been, than Mahomes in the NFL, and still not be considered better than somebody in the NFL, as Joel and people are aware of? If you've done something before, your history stands the test of time different than almost any other sport there is. The fact is, Mahomes has won in the playoffs and beat both of those players, and then won a Super Bowl 2 years ago, got destroyed this Super Bowl, but he beat Josh Allen, and Josh Allen beat Lamar. For the way a lot of people still work, they still view football as like quarterback versus quarterback instead of like situation versus situation. So people are going to have Mahomes higher. The reason I'm having Mahomes higher because I'm capitulating. I think Lamar has been better the last 2 years, but I'm also capitulating to neither of them dudes have won anything.
Say that word again.
Capitulate. It's just a regular word.
So swap it, yapping, basically.
I want Lamar to win. I do want Lamar to win a title. I want him to win MVP and a title because I want him to be able to be known as the best player in the world. I would love to see that. I would love to.
All right, y'all. If you want to hear more football talk, and if you want to hear more about capitulation and tertiary passers in the NFL, this is where you need to pull up. Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. I promise you will get your football fix here. I'll see you there.
Yeah, tertiary passing is just a receiver pass to a quarterback, probably in the NFL, by the way.
Super chat.
Evan
Stice,
Stice,
your workout today.
Evan Stice said, Ron A. Smith with that nasty ass hairline. Quit screwing up the show. It ain't about you.
And Ron A. Smith.
You're right.
Ron,
you're right,
if you would have saw him, you would have swung on him immediately, huh?
Well, we gonna see him one of these PC weekends. I'm gonna remember that, Evan.
Stephen A. said, I would have swung on him immediately.
King of Kings said Mamba mentality includes the work off the court. The off-court stuff matters. It's a part of the Mamba mentality. Mamba out-prepared everyone.
Yeah, a lot of people don't got Mamba mentality, but they think they do, so they just let them have it. That shit be pissing me off though. All the motherfuckers be, oh, Kobe with it, man. You ain't no Kobe. Cut the Kobe shit out.
All right, chill.
I'll see y'all dudes later. Out.
I hate the fake Mamba mentality people. Everything is Kobe. What would Kobe did? Not that. So go ahead on.
Rod said Bruce is worse than Russ. Tim is up and down, and J Val is a worse big than Vooch. Clippers clear, but I think the Clippers are a top 2 team in the West.
J-Val being worse than Vooch is random.
I know. I don't know what.
I don't even know the correlation. He is worse, but I don't know the correlation.
He's worse than a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm not very high on Valanciunas.
Shout out.
I ain't been high on him since he left. Was it the Raptors?
What, back in 2019?
Hey, I'm willing to make a bet with everybody up here. I guarantee he plays 4 times the amount of games as Darius.
But he got hurt that year, and Biyombo came in the playoffs and started doing his thing.
That was the last time I was high on Valanciunas.
He plays 4 times as many games as Darius Harsh did last year. We can make that bet.
I'm not saying, but Darius Harsh played what, like 10
That's what
games?
their backup big. That's literally their backup big last year by you.
Superchats.
Grandpa Town said, by the way, I get it, but in CR7's case, it wasn't true. I also hate why Americans get mad that Euro players want to play for their country. Your country is greater than the NBA.
Who is CR7?
Cristiano Ronaldo. It depends on the person. Some people value playing for their country more. Yeah, is what it is. But yeah, shout out to Ronaldo.
You think he the GOAT?
No, hell no.
Oh, okay. I just saw your tweet and I just want to ask.
Yeah,
shout out to the GOAT. Scavrose P said, Jordan, are you saying people are bad for bringing up the case? It's a heinous crime that has a horrible impact, and it's completely fair to talk about it.
You trying to put me in a trick bag, but I'm not gonna fall for your trick bag. I will just tell you, go look at the case and you tell me what you saw. And if you come back with that new information and you have that same mindset, hey, more power to you. But
right, y'all, we got a couple new members today. Miles One Times became a member. Ant Boy Ken became a member. Malio Coco.
Yes, perfect. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pirate Macau sent through a super chat and said Larry Bird was a aviary ball handler.
Absolutely, he was. Yep, absolutely.
Shout out all the ball handlers out there. And then last but not least, Nar XYZ became a member. Mars, do you have anything you want to say to the people before you get up out of here?
No, Ron, please.
Hey, Mars, you held it down, brother.
My boy got that Mamba mentality. My boy got that Mamba mentality.
Joel, I appreciate you for coming through. We will see you guys later tonight on Playback.
Joel, you gonna be on Playback tonight?
Merry Christmas.
I will not. I'm recording a podcast tonight, but I definitely want to tune into one of y'all Throwback Thursdays. Maybe watch some Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna let you know. And if you wanna choose a Kobe game, you let me know, and then we can coordinate that.
All right, sounds good. Thank you for having me.
I'm out of here. Shout out
for
Fridays.